What's going on, man? How are you?
Fine, had a nice day with an now it's getting an old friend. He's a friend of Arnold. He's from Munich and he came to visit me to have a short look at one of my gyms and we had a nice dinner and now back home.
One of your gyms. How many gyms do you have?
I invested in the gym business of one of my best friends.
Okay.
He had nine before, and now we have three more, so I'm partial owner of three.
Oh, that's great. I didn't know that. Where are they all? Are they all in
All are not in Vienna, I would say in the surrounding of Vienna.
okay. Okay.
So the funny thing is the gym you always see in the videos.
Yeah.
I'm not a partial owner of.
Oh, okay.
So, but that's the gym of them, and I always go there. And it's also the one which is closest to me or which is closest to Vienna.
So are you silent partner or do you go like do you actually work there? Do you spend time there? Like
No, I just give money.
you just get you just get money.
I just give money, and the
That's
owner
fair
is one
enough.
of my best friends, and actually he was my first client back in 2007.
Nice.
And he is just a genius when it comes to gym buildings, when it comes to all of that stuff. So um, I would just do damage if I
Yeah,
would interact in
yeah, you
his
better off yeah, better off
in his
sometimes stay out of
team.
the way.
You
Yeah.
know, the only thing because he knew that I've been to a lot of gyms and that I'm addicted to good machines, he sends me machines and asks if I like it or not, and then he buys it for me. So that's
Hi,
kind of a luxury.
sorry, I was just saying hi to Ben.
Yo,
Ben,
what's up? Good morning.
what
No, good afternoon.
good
Um,
evening.
Stefan, what's your preference for equipment? Or is it different with every body part, or is it like a specific brand that
No,
you
it's actually, when you go to brands of gym equipment, I think you always need a base company where you could say, okay, 70% of that machines are good.
yeah,
And actually, as sad as it is, I think just two brands deliver you that.
we're not going to agree. I know it.
So I really, and I didn't believe that before. I think New Tech has a
Base,
solid amount of machines which are good.
yeah, yeah,
And I think also Hammer Strength has a solid amount of machines which are
yeah,
good. They are not the best ones, but
yeah.
they have a solid amount of machines. So when we set up a gym, we have the base company,
Mm.
and then we have good machines from that company, good machines from that company, good machines from that company. But the amount of machines which are good, I think, is in Hammer Strength and New Tech the biggest amount. But nearly every company has good machines,
Yeah,
but there are just hand selected ones.
yeah. Hey, James, how are you?
This is weird because I had
James,
this weird sneaky suspicion that he'd show up again. I was
What?
like, I had this weird sneaky suspicion that like Stefan would show up again.
Why?
I don't know. I just had this weird feeling. I was like,
Well,
I wouldn't be surprised.
I feel like we had a good talk last week. So like,
Oh,
no,
we do, and that's what I thought. That's why I was like, you know what? That's cool if he does. So, and I
um,
didn't want to ask. So this is a good surprise.
I we're James, we're just talking about equipment because Stefan was just
Yeah,
telling me that he's part owner of a
three.
chain of 12 gyms, but
Yeah, yeah,
three
yeah,
of them are part
yeah,
owner of three of them.
yeah.
So we were talking about equipment because I always think it's funny how there's people out there that are professionals that don't give a shit. They're like, a weight's a weight. I don't care what the machine is. And there's people out there like Ben, for example, who are like, every
Very
single
specific.
machine is like hand selected.
Mm.
So I was asking Stefan, and he was saying that 70% of the, hi, Yannicka. Hi, mommy. I shouldn't call her mommy. That's weird.
You can call it that. She'll love that. She'll love that. She'll love that in a weird way. He said, "Hi, mummy."
you know, next step is Big Mama or
Yeah,
something like
yeah,
that.
don't
He
do
will be in a
that.
few
He's not
weeks.
gonna like that.
Ooh.
No, Stefan was saying that 70% of the base of most gyms equipment comes from one brand, and then there's pieces around, which I kind of agree with.
Mm.
I haven't Stefan was saying new tech and hammer strength. So hammer strength, I agree with. There's a lot of good stuff. I don't think any of it's like absolutely incredible. Maybe a couple pieces, like the DY row, I really like. That's always been a staple for my back movements. I haven't tried new tech, so I can't say anything. If I was going to, sorry, go ahead, Ben.
No, you go.
I was just going to say if I was going to pick from 70% of an equipment maker, I would probably pick from Cybex or Atlantis.
I like Cybex a lot.
Cybex doesn't exist anymore, so delete it.
Yeah, but I would just buy old stuff. Like my full used stuff, right?
Yeah. But you're totally right. But still, that's not possible anymore.
Okay, well, if we're talking about brands that still exist or still around or whatever, then I would probably go with Atlantis, and I like some Prime stuff. You don't like Atlantis? There's so many.
I think it's a little bit flimsy.
It's not a 70% brand.
Oh, it totally is. What are you talking about?
No, it isn't. It isn't. Even if you want to run the business commercial, they got damaged too fast.
Don't speak in absolutes. Say, I don't like it. Don't say it's not. Because there's so many gyms here in North America are 70% Atlantis.
Yeah, but it's also it's a Canadian brand, isn't it? It's up there.
Yeah, but listen, they do have a lot of good equipment. And a lot of it is very, like, listen, when I had their incline plate loaded. That thing during COVID was selling for like $5,000. That's how bad people wanted it. They have like a lateral raise. They have a lateral raise pin loaded that doubles as a
pec fly as well.
A pec fly that people love. Like they have some really good stuff.
Yeah, but when it comes to the basic stuff,
maybe it's not a 70.
Do they have good racks? Do they have good cable or jungle stations? You know, that's also the stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, the Atlantis cable stack is actually taller as well. So for
I have that, yeah. I have the cable.
You don't bottom it out on the like pull down and all of that stuff. It's actually
my only thing that I'll say quickly about Atlantis, just while we're on it, it's a little bit flimsy in areas, but a little bit. Some of the cable stuff. The cables aren't the most hard end, whereas you'll find with Cybex being, obviously it's old, Cybex actually use their own cables. They used to anyway, and their cables are a lot more durable than other brands.
Yeah, well, listen, in my opinion, and we're not putting it in the discussion because Stefan's right, it doesn't exist, but in my opinion, Cybex is the top of the top.
I love it. Like, I've got 5 wheelchair equipment pieces of Cybex that you can double up as regular pieces, and they're great.
When it comes to flimsy, I kind of felt that way about a couple of the Panada things.
I do as well. It's too. It doesn't feel very robust, unfortunately, and that's why I don't actually have any at the gym because it would get butchered in my gym.
Yeah, they have maybe 10 good machines, 10, and that was it. Yeah.
Some of the stuff, like if I was to put it in my gym, which doesn't have a lot of traffic, I'm not worried about it because the leverages on some of them are really good and they hit really well. But like Fouad's gym as well, like you can put in these pieces that aren't going to get absolutely hammered day in, day out. But when you talk about commercial gym, that's where Cybex and Hammer Strength kind of come into their own because their build quality is pretty robust.
It's funny.
Hammer's very
you guys said that about Atlantis. I always felt like Atlantis was like thicker, like heavier pieces.
No, if you compare it to Cybex.
Cybex is a different level.
It's one down from that. Like Cybex, you can like nuke and they're solid.
You guys,
and I think it depends, Fouad, on the item because, for example, their pendulum is heavy duty and great.
Yeah,
but I have noticed, like on their, say, for example, their cable dip. That was the first thing that went in my gym. The cable on that.
Yeah.
Some of the things that have got like the cogs and the wheels for like cables are just a little bit.
Well, listen, I'm gonna defer to you guys because you guys actually own gyms, so I can't say that I'm right. I just know that I used it.
Yeah. The gym I used to work at, the personal training studio in London, all of their stuff was Atlantis.
Yeah.
But it was for like one-on-one private clients only. Yeah. But it works really like they do some dual stacks like on their pull downs and their rows.
I like them.
Which are really good. Yeah. Yeah, you can double it up, you can put it in a single stack, but it's nice for they do really good stuff, but I'm not sure it can compare in terms of the build quality if you're going to run a full open gym.
Let me ask you guys this. Stefan, I'll ask you first because we didn't get the chance to cover it, but how do you feel about Prime? Because I'm a little bit torn on Prime stuff.
You know, they have brilliant stuff, but also stuff which makes no sense. And for me, it's an addition, but not a 70% brand, you know?
Yeah. Select pieces.
And also is it really necessary to change the strength curves and all that stuff? You know, most people who will go in the gym, and I now talk as a gym owner, business wise, you know, 90% of the money is earned from normal average people.
Yes. Listen, that thing with the change in leverage is similar to like creating a supplement. Like when I create a supplement, we look at the formulas. You can make a formula like a fucking Rolls Royce of formulas, but the average person buying, not even the average person buying, most people buying, even competitors.
I would say 90%
don't need
the basics, but together. They want a nice.
They want a nice formula that's.
It's like, can you build a Mr. Olympia physique without any of that? Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying,
of course.
Well, listen, it's not about what you need, it's what you want. But even when it comes to what you want, most people don't understand why they need different leverages.
Sure.
And most people don't understand when a formula has 18 different ingredients in it. So you have to find that middle ground. And I kind of agree with you on the prime thing, because I have what's the one that's not
Strive. Strive's the original.
I have a Strive piece in here, and every time I post a video of it, people are like, why does it have 3 locations and what does that do? And so I don't think most people understand the difference of the leverages anyways. But if we're being picky, I agree with you. There's some pieces that are kind of cool.
I like how solid Prime is, but I will say this, because of the adjustments on some of them, especially the pin stack stuff, they have pins on them that sometimes I find
so small.
Yeah, and they break. And I've had 2 breaks in I've had the Prime stuff for 1 year, and I've had 2 breaks on a dip station and a seated ham curl where the cam gets loose. I have to keep tightening an adductor. And things like that shouldn't happen just from regular gym use. That's the only thing I find. Obviously, I love
the day after Jordan's been in, all the equipment's a little bit looser and
a little bit loose from the load. But for example, like the equipment is solid, and don't get me wrong, like it's built sturdier than a lot of other stuff. But when something goes wrong, you have to replace it, and it's quite hard to replace because they're not super available.
It's funny you said that, because I think the machine that Sam broke, I remember we were shooting a video at American Barbell. Sam Sulik broke one of these cable stacks. I think that was a Prime stack. I think the pin on it was I think it was a Prime machine. The pin broke.
You mean the one with the
the dual, the functional. It's called a functional trainer.
I think it was still damaged. I think it was still damaged when I was there.
Because they're hard to replace.
No, it's funny because Nate, the owner, said he's replaced it a few times.
Oh, so it's gone a few times.
Keeps going, So
I'm in a slightly different position to both these guys because I'm not commercial. I'm more like you, Fouad. I get to I get a bit more. I probably got more traffic than you, but not as much obviously as these guys. Right? There's probably about 20 or 30 people come through my gym a day, maybe on a busy day. But I'm really big now on. I'm gonna start trading out some of my current equipment because I'm kind of maxed out on space with that MegaMass stuff.
You really like that, don't
you? So I'm big on this because early on I wanted to not like it, right? Because he was ripping off a lot of the he took like the flex leverage designs, but he's actually started to grab like Cybex old blueprints and whatnot, and his build quality's got a lot better than like when it very first come out. But I guess I'm just uncertain on how robust it is in a commercial gym. I know a couple of my athletes use his stuff in their, like, they'll send me videos, and they're up in bodybuilder gyms, and it's holding up to those guys. But his stuff's really good. It does and he's taken some of the flex leverage stuff and improved upon the design. So like with the chest press, that one that we used up at Carbon Culture that time, the flat press, that's now like you can split the load. It's just got a pin that you put out of the back, and then he's got a foot plate on it to lift it out. It's just a much better design. Like his stuff is actually. I wanted to not like it because I'm nostalgic and I like my old flex leverage.
Well, it's also kind of corny when you see somebody rip something off. Like everyone knows that's a flex leverage like design, right? But if you take something and you improve it.
It's cool.
I'm going to argue they're improved, and that his build quality is getting to a point now that.
But let's see what James will gonna see and say in 2 weeks, because he's coming to visit me, I think equipment wise, it probably will be the most impressive gym he's ever seen.
Oh,
mean,
absolutely. I think it'll be an opener because I
even-
watch a lot of the videos anyway, so I'm already like,
You know, it's just crazy. We have, as base companies, we have hammer strength. We have nearly every old Cybex machine, nearly every new Cybex machine. We have everything from Gym 80, we have everything from Panatta. We have old Nautilus, we have new Nautilus. We have Icarian, we have Precor, we have Gym Playco.
How big is the gym?
We have
Huge.
40 leg presses.
How big is your gym? How big is that one?
We're nearly 5,000 square meters.
Square meters.
Meters.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's,
It's big. It's big. It's big.
What is that? Isn't that just times 3? That's only 15,000 square
Three
feet.
and a half, maybe.
A big space.
It's probably near 20,000 square feet.
We have,
Yeah, it's like
we have nearly
18.
40 leg presses.
The machine I like, and you was using it, Wesley, is the old.
When it,
Cybex,
for example, when it comes to
Rome.
hex squat, we have a Icarian, we have a Cybex, we have a max pump.
Oh, wait a
we
minute.
have-
Hey, we did that
Yeah.
way. We did that way wrong. This says
what is it?
this says 5,000 square meters is 54,000 square feet.
Fuck, there you go then.
Which,
It's huge. I know it's
which
big.
makes sense if you tell me you have 40 leg presses. Yeah, that's a massive gym.
all different, you know, horizontal, vertical.
The
Hex
problem I'm
squats.
facing, Stefan, I'm going to come out there and I'm going to like it and I'm going to say, Yannicka, I'm not coming home. I said that. I said I'm going to end up doing my whole. I'll just end up.
Can't do that
renting
anymore.
somewhere down the road.
You got kids now. You have no choice.
Not yet.
No, he's got one
I can
left.
squeeze
He's
it
got
in.
1 year left.
I've got till like July to squeeze
You're
in.
like,
as
I'll be
much as I
back
can.
in 8 months.
I said it to her earlier. I actually said, look, the problem is I'm going to probably really like it and just want to stay.
We have one floor for stack loaded, one for a floor for plate loaded.
That's a lot.
Well, it sounds awesome, man. I like that. You know what? The gym I started lifting in, like most of my career, probably the first 3/4 of my career, was like, it was an old curling rink. If for those of you who don't know what curling is, it's like fucking, it's
fucking.
I don't know, it's gay, it's Canadian.
It's the Olympic thing, isn't it?
yeah, it's where they
Brush the floor.
But have you been the wiper or the?
The brush thing.
Sweeper.
Sweep.
I was the sweeper. No, but they converted it to a gym. I think it was like, I gotta say, it was probably 20 or 30,000 square feet. But there was the same
Big,
thing.
man.
They had like 10 leg presses, 10 hack squats, 10 Smith. It's like, it's really nice to be in a gym like that when you have all that selection. So there's not.
Did they put off the cooling?
What's yeah, exactly. No, I was going to ask you guys about one more piece of gym equipment before we move on from the topic. Body Masters.
I like some Body Masters.
I like Body Masters.
It's really hit or miss, though.
But to me, the build quality is similar to Cybex. Like, it really feels like.
I like that age. I've got a Body Masters hack at mine, and no one uses it. And it annoys me. I'm like, man, you lot are missing out.
The best one, probably, yeah.
Dude, it's
Some
like,
of
I used it at
at all.
Redcon, and it was great.
Some of their selectorized stuff, because I got one from one of the fire departments around here. Was giving it away, and it's like the stack is like 4 plates. You're like, you know, when those old machines are like massive, and they got like 4 little plates on them. You're like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with that?
Each plate's like 100 pounds, though. It's not fucking.
Where
I
are
like
they
Body
from?
Masters, man.
They
American.
used to be a
sure.
US. Yeah, I think they're a US company.
Definitely American.
I thought they were European Body
Dude,
Masters.
I felt like
I've really
every gym
never
in America
seen it.
had it.
Yeah, I've only really seen them over here. I never saw them until I came here, really.
I've
Same.
seen. Okay, I wanted to show you guys this because it's absolutely fucking wild. This is Samson's latest update.
Oh, I saw that today. It looks crazy. I wrote fucking powerful underneath it.
It's
The legs, man.
this guy just keeps improving, and it doesn't
Just
matter.
his arms. Are
Doesn't
fucking
matter how many.
awful.
It must have been arm day. I'm just going to say it must have been. Surely,
His arms are
surely it was arm
outrageous.
day.
Dude, his
For me,
arms,
most impressive is the arm shoulder package.
Yeah,
Arm shoulder
yeah.
package from
In
from
that
the
back
back
double.
looks
Yeah.
insane.
His
dude.
glutes are boxing off now.
Yeah, his
Well,
glutes are
at the
getting
stage.
sharper now. Yeah,
And his abs are thick. That's a big boy.
His arms, holy fuck.
That is arm day.
dude, his
Take
arms.
a look at the triceps. The triceps.
It's obscene. His arms got bigger.
Dude, his arms are looking like the size of his legs. It's
Yeah.
like it's wild. Like
It's this back double, like to the depth of them. It's just like even that, fuck. They are pumped. You can see, James, they're probably fully pumped.
No,
up,
it
eh?
must be arm day.
Yeah,
That's a full arm. That's a very full arm. This is where he tells us no, it's leg day. He'll be like, no. Wow.
Fuck.
I don't see nobody touching Samson from now on till he's done because he's just too. He's got everything that we want from Mr. Olympia, like in regards to like shape and size and symmetry, and I don't know. Like every bodybuilder has some slight weaknesses, but for me, he has the least in regards to like his entire package. It's just so spot on for what you expect Mr. Olympia to be.
Yeah, if you took that down to like the high street, right, and just asked a bunch of people to
Everyone's going,
pick
that's
out
Mr.
their
Olympia.
top, yeah, who's the best bodybuilder in the world, and you
He's
show
doing
them a
what
bunch of
like
randoms.
when you saw videos of Ronnie posing during training. Like Samson's getting to that point now when I see him training and posing during it. I'm like, fuck. No one else makes me really feel like that.
Yeah, I agree with you, James.
Getting
He's
there.
starting to separate himself a little bit.
I think so.
The thing that's crazy is you'd think he just did the Olympia and he's been traveling. Like, listen, he's traveling like every fucking week for a while.
Oh,
He's traveling every week. He just finished the Olympia and he looks like he's improved.
yeah, he does.
Maybe maybe that's exactly what he needed to get a little bit distraction, to a little bit calm down,
But
knowing the business is in the house, being relaxed.
But I'll
I'm
tell
the
you,
king in the castle.
I'll tell you though, Stefan, and I don't think he would mind me saying this. For the first month or two after the Olympia, he was a little bit overwhelmed
I can imagine, man.
because he was just getting calls from everywhere. Like, come here,
Everyone
come
suddenly wants
there,
everything.
guest pose here, guest pose there, travel to this place, go to this gym, go to this. And he was like, I asked him at one point, hey, we want to do something in Canada. Do you want to come down? And he's like, I can't.
Fuck.
And he's never, ever said to me, I can't. And it wasn't because he was just lazy and sitting at home. He's like,
No chance. Yeah.
every week I got something going on. So
Dude, even if you look at him as well, Fouad, like all of his house getting done, that's him doing it.
yeah, he's the one.
The man's a fucking machine.
I just talked to him yesterday for a little bit, or the day before, I can't remember. He was telling, Samson's the kind of guy that because he's a handyman, I think like working on his home is actually like what Stefan said, it's actually relaxing for him.
Keeping him nice and chill. 'Cause
Yeah,
he's
like
enjoying it.
doing the
Painting and
yeah, like putting up the blinds and doing the yard work and like I think
Well,
I think he's really fucking proud of what he's done. And I think
he should.
Yeah, he should be. And working on his home is like making him feel relaxed.
But he's smart. He's smart, right? Because an unoccupied mind is a
Wise
dangerous
mind.
place to be. That's a dangerous place to be. It's
Well,
like even when you're well fed, and then you've got to throw fucking, chemicals, competition, and diet
man.
into place. You don't want to be sitting there in
Even-
your own head thinking
Well,
too
yeah.
much.
Well, listen, if there's anything I can say about Samson is he doesn't have his mind is always occupied because he's like
That's great.
he's the least lazy fucking guy I know in the industry. Like he's always doing something. If he's not traveling, he's
Yeah.
working on something. It's like he's just constantly he doesn't just sit around and do nothing,
It's the first time. It's the first time for a long time. Sorry, Ben, that I've actually looked at a bodybuilder in the current time and been like, you know what? I actually kind of idolize that guy. Like I genuinely watch his stories, and I'm genuinely very, very like happy for him. And I actually look at the way he behaves, and I think, man, like if any of us can adopt a little bit of that, we'll be better for it. And I don't normally like really feel that way.
I wonder if this is what it is, James, because me and you have a similar approach to bodybuilding, I think. From what, from talking to you over the years, I've kind of gathered that. I wonder if it's a couple different things with Samson. One thing I envy, and I don't know if that's something you envy, but he's past the point of caring what people think. Like he went through a lot of shit when he left Milos, and I think it bothered him a little bit, but then he came out the other side, and now he's like, I'm going to do this thing how I want to do it, and nobody can tell me different, and I'm not going to be scared of backlash or comments or any. And so that's something I envy, is that he's just doing what he wants to do the way he wants to do it.
I envy because it is strength. That is strength.
That's what I'm saying.
You have to be very strong to have that kind of mentality.
And you have to be
I think-
you have to be confident in you have to have conviction in what your decisions
Yeah,
are.
you can't lie to yourself. It's not a lie. You can't fabricate. You can't be like, I'm confident. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
But he really
I
does
think
have that.
Sorry, go ahead, Ben.
No, go.
Go, Stefan, go.
I think it was a learning curve also for him,
Yeah.
because I think I would really call it now, he might have that superpower now to think like that, because he went through all that shit,
Yep.
to all that fucking social media bullshit crap, people talking who have no clue of anything.
Yep.
And I think that hit him hard.
Very.
But then he saw when he does his thing, goes his way, puts out the things how he wants to do it, and doesn't give a shit what people are talking. He's undestroyable.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, Ben.
The thing I like, the observation I made, and it kind of all ties into what all three of you were saying there. It's like he's incredibly patient, and he has been that way since I've known him, and that hasn't changed with the mounting pressure. Like a lot of guys will, turn pro, and they're like, okay, now I have to I've got to catch up. I've got this to do. I've got to be Mr. Olympia this year.
Yeah.
And I even had this conversation with him last year, and that's kind of when the penny really dropped. I'm like, oh, he's incredibly patient, and it's like ties into that thing of like he has that confidence in what he's doing. It's just it's the tortoise and the hare, right? He's like, I'm just going to keep running my own race, and I will hunt them all down. And that's where I think like we're seeing him be able to make progressions, because he's not forcing any of the progress he's made. He let it happen just by that consistency and patience. So he's able to sustain it and repeat it over and over again. He's not like some of these guys who would burst onto the scene and they'll redline their bodies and they'll be on the Olympia stage as quick as they can be. And then they kind of hit that ceiling and they're burnt out a little bit. I don't think he's anywhere near burnt out.
No, not even close. You know what part of that is from, Ben? His work ethic hasn't changed from when I signed him, and I'm sure before that. Right. But he's been with us for 4 years now, or 5. And he's the exact same person. And I'm not just talking about in the gym. Like Samson's entire work ethic, whether it be traveling, whether it be social media, whether it be in the gym, whether it be food, it's all been the same, whether he was 10th place at a show or now Mr. Olympia. So I think now he's able to handle the Mr. Olympia pressures a little better than most. And he's able to travel because he's always kind of done that stuff. He's always done the social media posting. He's always done the stories. He's always kind of traveled. Maybe he has more travel now, but he's always done it. You know what I mean, James? Like,
yeah,
James, me and you talk about being shackled to our food, to our kitchen, being scared to travel, being scared to go places because you think if you leave the house, your body's going to suffer. You're not going to be as good a bodybuilder. Samson's never had that. No. So I think some of these guys maybe have that same mentality. So when they turn Mr. Olympia and all these travel appearances come up, they're not able to take them because they never did before.
Yeah.
Whereas Samson's never had a problem traveling. So he's more like a Jay Cutler where he won the Mr. Olympia. And now he's got to go all over the place, but it doesn't phase him. He's like, I've already traveled. I already know I can travel. I already know.
This is the thing.
You know what I mean?
With a person like Samson, because on the way up, you did it. If you still see progression occurring alongside all of those kind of commitments.
Right.
And that must be a nice position to be in because you're like, it's like, you know what you can get away with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To a degree. Yeah. It's like, there's some people that do that shit with their diet that I know I can get away with. And there's some people but he knows he can commit to traveling and he knows it doesn't have an effect on him, partly because he's allowed himself to not stress about it in general anyway.
Yeah, but hold on.
A lot of people stress.
I just want to interrupt for one thing. It's not about, I used to think it was about what he could get away with. I'm like,
oh, no. I know that. I'm just saying, there are people out there that think that would be the same, but it's not. So they would think, I shouldn't do that because I probably can't get away with doing that. But you can't look at it that way is what I'm trying to say. That, because you're going to have to do it eventually.
The thing is, when I look at it, and I could be way off on this, so please nobody take this as gospel or like, when I look at somebody like Hadi or look at somebody like Derek when he won Mr. Olympia or Rami, they feel more like traditional bodybuilders to me in a sense that I can't travel too much because if I travel too much, I won't make gains.
It's like Dorian.
Samson to me is more of a throwback to Ronnie and Jay and Phil, where they're like, okay, I can still travel and be Mr. Olympia and I can do these things and it's not going to affect me.
Yeah, they see it as I'm going to do it no matter what, not what's going to hold me back.
Yeah, and also the thing with Samson, he wants to celebrate the position he's in.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to waste that because you only appreciate being a Mr. Olympia when you are around the people.
Yeah.
Because if you're Mr. Olympia and you're sitting indoors all year, you never really get to experience being Mr. Olympia.
Oh, he's not Mr. Olympia in his own home.
Yeah,
Marlena's Mr. Olympia in his house.
Exactly. So imagine being Samson and like you get to go to these countries, whether it be in Asia or whatever, and just being able to experience being number one in the world. Because some people will only have 1 year as Mr. Olympia in their entire career. And if you imagine you went that whole year and you went doing that and you never got to actually experience being Mr. Olympia. So like, you know, Brandon, I think he's a fantastic bodybuilder. I think he's great. But I do feel for him in the sense that maybe, I don't know how much he got up to. Again, I can't really say, but I didn't see as much as, say, Samson.
Yeah.
I imagine that these guys do look back and they think, it would have been nice to spend a little bit more time around the fans during that time, just to really soak it all in.
Right.
Shake some hands, experience it, take some photos, and just get the memories. Because if you never get that Mr. Olympia again, at least you have that.
You know, it's funny, James. I think some guys, maybe when they win, they think they're going to win again, and that's why.
Of course, and that is a mentality. Yeah,
and that's why they don't travel, because they're like, if I don't travel and I stay home,
then I will win
better, and I can win again.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like it's a which one is the right way to go? Like, if you stay home, you can improve and win again. If I travel, I get to experience everything, but maybe I won't improve, and then I won't win again. So you're stuck,
and then
right? Because not everybody can do what Samson's doing and travel and still listen. The one thing I want to say is, and we'll get off Samson because people probably think I'm just like, you know,
but we all feel the same. So this is not just you forcing it. We actually genuinely like talking about him.
I had a chance, and I think Ben was there. Ben, you stayed at my house at that time too. Him and Mel have such a system worked out when it comes to prepping his food that the reason he can travel is because she is there for him.
It's all prepared, ready.
And it's all. Man, you guys have seen his YouTube videos. He's got a bucket. They just take a bucket and they fill it with chicken and fucking barbecue sauce and they throw it on the grill. And he's just got his food. It's all there. Yeah. It's just his food. He doesn't miss a meal. He doesn't so they have such a system that he can be going to all these places and doing all these things and still make progress.
That's all it is, isn't it? Preparation. And a lot of us fail on that front.
It's hard. It's not fucking easy. It's not easy to be walking through an airport, toting a bag around and it's not an easy thing to do.
Do you remember the videos of Evan used to freeze his freaking fish and then send it to the show?
I did that.
You probably did as well. I never really seen people do that, but you guys used to do that. And to us, that'd be that's crazy.
Luke and I did a suitcase full of frozen food and ice packs and traveled to FIBA with it.
James,
crazy.
I used to travel for SciTech overseas.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to miss any meals. After Evan came out with that video, I'm like,
it's great today.
I'm going to do this. So I started vacuum sealing my food, freezing it, put it all in a suitcase, and just put it and check the bag. And by the time it got
stored and ready,
it was still frozen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I would take it out, and then I remember when we were in, I think Barcelona, we were in the hotel. The hotel didn't have a fridge. I had to check all my food into the restaurant. Not in the hotel, but next door to the hotel.
Oh.
Yeah, I went to the restaurant next door and I'm like, can you put this all in your fridge for me? And it was just like, it's some of the now it's like, you think about the way people travel now, it's much easier because there's Airbnb, you could just get a house that has a fridge and it's
so simpler. I remember like 20, I think it must have been 15 or 16. I was with Fred Biggie Smalls, and he had frozen fish that was already cooked, like in a meal, but it was still frozen. And he's eating it like a fucking iced lolly in an airport. He's like, got to get the meal. It's frozen. I can't store it. So he's like chewing on fucking frozen fish.
Yeah.
It's hardcore, man.
It's crazy to think about now, though. Guys don't have to do any of that.
No, dude, the first thing I look at is there a fully working oven where I'm staying and a fridge?
Well, not only do you have an Airbnb, but a lot of guys have like meal prep sponsorships.
Yeah.
Like you travel and they got their mega fit meals or they got their like whatever, like prep company, right? So
dude, every time I go to Sweden for the show, for the golf show, there's this company in Stockholm that does the meals, so we get looked after with the meals, so that's well handy.
Yeah.
You know, I always had a little bit of especially recently, like where I work from home, because I enjoy cooking. Like it's kind of like my distraction.
Yeah,
I cook every meal from scratch. Denise shouts me, you know how much time you waste every day making a meal from scratch? But I'm like, for me, it separates me away from my phone and my laptop. I get to take 10 or 15 minute break to cook my meal, then I'll sit and eat it. And that gave me a 30-minute, like, okay, now I'll get back to work. But I have this weird habit, like OCD, I have to make every meal from scratch. Right?
I'm pretty similar. I still like to cook fresh, if I'm honest.
I might cook 2 meals. Like if I'm cooking a pack of ground beef, I might cook the whole thing and then I have a second meal, but I never cook like a week's worth of.
Yeah, never. I haven't done that for years.
I was horrible back then. I cooked always the day before for the next day.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I always just ate out of a big bowl.
What do you mean?
So I threw all the meals in one big bowl.
Yeah.
For the day. And just ate all of that bowl.
You didn't separate them out for like 5
No.
meals. You
Why?
just said, this is what I need today, and I'm gonna eat it.
I've seen Dusty Hanshaw do a similar thing, right? He's like, this is all my calories for the day. I'm gonna eat all of this.
And
When I used to
ate
do
it out of the
removals, I
fucking
did that.
bowl.
You know what,
Yeah.
Stefan? I'm not saying you're wrong, because obviously you're right, because you're the
You're Stefan.
professional coach. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
the
but
boss.
I wouldn't.
You're the boss. You're the boss,
tell
right?
that I wouldn't tell that the other people, but I did it like
Listen.
that. I just had a spoon.
You're the
Yeah.
boss, so I'm not arguing, but I could never do that. I always felt like meal timing was important, and the time,
it is.
the exact size of meal had to be.
Yeah, but
like,
okay. In the bowl, for example, there have been 5 meals.
no,
Just
I'm
divide it by 5.
not. I'm not saying you're wrong.
No,
I get it.
just pre and post was separate.
Okay.
When you see the bowl,
Yeah.
you know what 1/5 of it is.
Yeah.
You know what? If you
Stefan's brain's
take
like,
a spoon, if you take a spoon more or less, it fucking
See,
doesn't
why didn't you
count.
just see me and Stefan worked together for like a month? Why didn't you tell me this? I could have just made a big bowl of pasta. with
Because
something.
wait, because you'd have finished the bowl at meal 1 and then be like, "Where's the rest?"
There would be no food
I
left.
just keep eating until it's done.
I did used to
You know,
do the
it
same
was-
when I used to do removals. When I was doing my removal job, Stefan, I would cook up pasta, and obviously because I was like pretty broke at the time, pasta, tuna, and maybe like some garden peas and a little bit of salad cream, and I'll just do a big bowl and then just have some when I could.
Yeah.
Less time for washing the shit, less time for cooking the shit.
You know what? I'm going to do that from now on. I'm just going to start making a big bowl of food every day. But Ben's
You
right.
just got to make sure what you cook. You just got to make sure what it is you really like because you got a few portions.
Well, listen, I could
Yeah.
do rice. Like when I was working with Hani, I was doing rice pasta and ground turkey
And it's easy.
4 out of the 6 meals a day.
Hmm.
That's my favorite fucking meal. I could do that shit all day long.
Did you have that plain or did you have some like olive oil on it?
No, I used to put a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of pasta sauce because it was off season, right? So I'm like,
Yeah.
a little bit of pasta sauce, not a big deal.
Man.
And,
For me also, it was grounded filet with pasta and tomato sauce.
nice.
Easy.
Sounds good.
Five times a day, bam, bam, bam.
When we were working together, why don't you just give me that fucking diet? I could do that.
That sounds exactly
You
like what
said
Fouad
you
likes.
said I can't eat carbs. Carbs are enemy for my body. Oh
love
no,
that.
carbs. I'm afraid.
Okay,
How long are you going to go? How long would Fouad be able to go without carbs?
Time out. I got
2 days.
Okay. This is fucking bullshit. I got to defend myself. Okay. So I'm going to tell everybody why I fucking said that. And I'm shocked at you that you didn't pick this up having a medical background. My A1C, and for those who don't know, is a long-term measure of your blood sugar levels. My A1C was not diabetic, but it was pretty high.
Pre-diabetic. Yeah.
Pre-diabetic. And I'm like, let's do low carb or no carb so I can bring this shit back down. It wasn't because I'm scared of carbs. Don't fucking tell people that. I love carbs.
He clearly wasn't scared of fucking
I got a bowl
carbs.
of fucking carbs. I got a bowl of carbs right here.
But the point is, you can do a lot of positive things for your HbA1c with the right carbs and a slower insulin response,
Right.
and some cardiovascular exercise.
Right. I agree. I think
There's
it's
a fuck
So you were.
But you have
afraid
to.
of carbs.
But hold on a minute. But you have to admit. No. But you have to admit, Stefan, and this is kind of documented.
Yeah.
The fastest way to bring down your A1C
Bring down
is
carbs.
probably a keto diet with a lot of cardio.
Yeah, but what brings it to you when you can't keep that for your lifetime, or is that your plan?
Well, no, but this is the thing. At the time me and you had talked, I had just finished doing carnivore for 6 weeks. And I had a lot of success with it. So I wanted to kind of morph carnivore into keto and then just keep that lifestyle. But then we added.
Could you actually not? Could you do a diet without carbs? Would you be able to sustain that? I'd be fucking struggling.
what?
I think.
It's funny.
No way I can't.
It's funny, James. We had this conversation on the last podcast, and I said to the guys, it's funny. I ask you guys the same question. I said to the guys, was there something that you did in your life that benefited you greatly, and you felt great doing it, but for some reason you stopped?
Yeah.
I've done it with a lot of things.
Okay, pick one.
For me, as when it comes to nutrition, okay.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to anything.
I would reduce it now to nutrition.
Okay.
For me, it would be for me and my specific body, high meal frequency works magic.
High meal frequency.
Yeah, it
So like
works
7, 8 meals a
magic.
day. Yeah.
5 to 6 meals a day works magic for me. My biggest problem and why I got that fat again is because I don't eat.
Mm.
Just eat when you want.
I eat one or two times a day.
Yeah.
Fucking no calories when I sum it up.
Yep.
And look like a fat fucking incredible bastard.
You know what's funny? I noticed that too. I tried, not when I was doing carnivore. Then I
well, you know, dear Stefan was a fat bastard.
No. No.
I saw that.
No. Aside from when I was doing carnivore, because that was a separate thing, but there was a period of time where I was only eating like 2 meals a day, and I wasn't eating that much. And I'm like, why do I feel like I'm getting fatter? I'm eating such a small amount of food.
Is that like metabolism just slows down?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I think it's only 2 pizzas a day. It's fucking.
Yeah, I was eating a large pizza for breakfast and a large pizza for dinner, and then some reason still getting fatter.
4,000 calories.
Fuck.
No, but okay, so like just to give you guys some other examples, just in case. Seth said coffee. Seth said for a while he got rid of coffee, but he loves coffee so much that he brought it back, even though he felt good when he wasn't eating. So that's kind of what I'm asking. Is there some kind of vice that you have in your life that felt really good doing this new thing, but you couldn't keep it up?
Yeah.
What?
For a long time, I've done it now, but for a long time it was training frequency.
Meaning what?
I would train too often.
Oh.
Now I literally do 2 on, 1 off, just to try to make sure I do get some rest, because I would easily train every fucking day.
No, but hold on. You're mistaking my question. I'm saying, is there something you did that was beneficial?
Oh, that benefited you.
Yeah,
yeah, but that's what I mean. Yeah.
You're
So
saying
you now don't do it.
You're saying
Yeah, now I don't. Sorry, now I've managed to get a grip on it. Yeah,
no.
the other way around.
I'm not saying something.
It's the other way around.
I'm saying, and I'll tell you why I'm saying.
But Fouad, both of the lower row, they all take their life serious besides us, you know.
No, because I'm not.
James still does everything perfect. He takes it serious. Ben still looks good, and we are the old crack bastards.
Well, hey, speak for yourself. I still got abs.
I do think I do agree with the caffeine front.
I've done a stint. It doesn't have to be just food. It could be anything.
Yeah, for there's loads of things in there, like
maybe for you, James, it could be like, you know what? I stopped gaming 10 hours a day. I was only gaming.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, definitely.
And I felt great, but I went back to gaming 10 hours.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So Warzone, playing like Call of Duty, I had like a period where I was prepping for shows, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna pull away from that, because then I can just like keep my head, get to bed a bit earlier and that. But the social side of it, that I missed, just being able to talk to my friends, brought it back.
Yeah. So the reason I said that, Stefan, is, and I've told the story on the podcast a million times, so I'll be quick. There was about a 6-week period of time where me and Ben was doing like true carnivore. I was doing like 80% carnivore. I was adding like avocado and stuff, so maybe it wasn't 100% carnivore. But it's the best I've felt in fucking 30 years. My sleep, everything was incredible. I lost like 30 pounds. Like my blood pressure I got off my blood pressure medication, like everything was incredible. And then I just stopped. I don't know why. I actually enjoyed the diet. I liked not having to eat more than 2 or 3 times a day. And then for some reason, I just started eating fucking carbs again.
I think that needs to be pointed out a little, or I have an idea behind that.
Okay.
So for me, it's the same like you, because what I miss most, and I hate me for that, is that I don't take care about my nutrition.
Right.
Because I know when I take care about my nutrition, I sleep better, I have more energy, everything. But it seems too retarded that I start again taking care about my nutrition. I always fuck it up, you know.
Yeah.
Too lazy, whatever. And I think now I come back to you, when you did that carnivore thing, you really took care about yourself.
Okay.
I think that was the main fact why you felt better. Maybe with another diet, it would also be.
One second, Ben. I just want to touch on it real quick, and I'll let you jump in.
Mine is touching on it too. So
yeah. So other people said that to me, Stefan. Other people said to me, "Oh no, you didn't feel that good because of the diet. You just felt that good because you lost 25 pounds, and you were strict." I'm telling you, I have done periods of 3-5 weeks where I'm like perfect. Within 3 to 4 days of doing carnivore, I felt the effects.
Yeah.
Any other diet with carbs does not work that way for me.
Let me tell you another thing and to add on to that. So when I was doing it, to go back to your original question, the thing that I missed the most, I wish I could lock in and keep is carnivore. Because again, the same thing. My diet now is locked in. It's just not carnivore.
Right.
So the only carbohydrates, I don't add sauces. I don't add salt even to my food. It is plain boiled potato, fish, rice. Like it's a clean diet. I don't have processed food or sugar or anything. But having a family meant carnivore was really restrictive because they're not doing it.
Right.
And meal times would get weird. Like my family will eat like boiled potatoes and boiled rice, so we'll just sit and eat that. So that's why I came away from it. But for sure, I feel better on carnivore versus the diet I'm on right now. I still feel decent. I feel good. I just don't have that, like, I don't want to sound corny and say like that superhuman like level of operating. Like my body, the inflammation was just gone in my body. My mental like anxiety, depression, focus, memory was all much, much better. It's not bad now. It's just keyed in when I'm on carnivore.
You know what, Ben? That's the other thing. Mental health. My moods.
Massive.
My moods were like totally fucking stable. There was no ups and downs. I was more like, if this was baseline, I was like here. I was like.
So Denise did it with me and she was having some weird mental, I don't know, clarity, should we say?
Yeah.
She jumped on that. All of her like menstrual issues that were carrying over just within days. And she was like, wow, I feel really good. It's just very hard to sustain because it's so extreme.
Right. It's like, it's go ahead, Stefan, sorry.
It's really funny how different people are, because I started with bodybuilding when carnivore, or it wasn't called carnivore back then, it was just Atkins,
Yeah, but that's a little different. Atkins is a little different though.
It's a little bit different, but I did Atkins just with meat.
Okay. Yeah.
So it was.
Yeah, but hold on a minute. That's actually the thing that I think people get wrong. Most people, when they do carnivore, they're like, I'm going to eat steak and eggs. It's not enough. I had to add. I was adding grass-fed
phytonutrients.
I was adding grass-fed butter to all my meals.
Like I have tallow. I do it in tallow. I cook everything in tallow.
I think a lot of people, when they do carnivore, they don't add the extra fat because they think there's enough.
Yeah, you need.
So you don't get the feeling if you're not eating enough, right?
But for me, I always had been an organism which needed carbs.
Yeah.
But for me, it's very, very essential the quality of the carbs.
Right.
I work great on potatoes. I work great on oats. I can't eat rice.
Right.
Completely catastrophe, for example.
Yeah.
I can't eat cream of rice. I got hypos every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
No chance of doing that. And for me, exactly the opposite happens when I just eat fat and meat. I get lazy. I get tired.
Really?
Yes, and I immediately recognize that it's too hard for my digestion. But that might be the case because I have colitis ulcerosa, which has the problem of digesting so I just can't digest the amount of fat and meat which is needed for the caloric needs.
Let me ask you this though. You said you were doing it when you were bodybuilding. Okay, so that means you were trying to do it. And you were trying to eat 4, 5, 6 times a day.
Exactly.
That's not. See, the benefit I found. If I do like this diet I'm on right now, this is 1 serving of cream of rice and a scoop of protein. If I do, first of all, if I do any more than a scoop, if I do any more than 1 serving, which is like 45 grams, I get bloated as fuck. So I'm very carb sensitive.
Yeah.
But going back to what I was saying, the benefit of it is, I only was eating twice a day and I wasn't hungry at all. Like I was eating so much fat in my meals that it slowed my digestion down the way you're talking about. But because I wasn't bodybuilding, I didn't have to eat again in 2 hours. I would eat like twice a day.
But when I would do that, what you say, balance or connected in one big meal, I would just shit oil.
Really?
Yeah, no, oh, you do like
For example, if
Yeah, your
if,
shit's
if
not
I
always
would
perfect.
if I would eat, or if, for example, my wife cooks grounded beef, normal grounded beef, high quality, biological, everything,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I eat it per accident because I don't know that it is normal with 20-25% of fat.
Yeah.
2 hours later, I shit oil.
Yeah.
So I again the same. So I had the same thing, and I've done kind of like a like probably 3 times last year in different phases. The first 10 days, you're gonna shit your pants
Yeah.
for
I noticed that.
sure. Like
I noticed that.
you cannot fart, but then your body adjusts, and I think it's to do with your bile acid production increases, or it settles in, and you can. A lot of people will actually supplement with bile salts, and even cocoa can help with that production to break down the extra fats that you're consuming, but it does normalize, but it takes like you're into the second week by that time.
No,
Sometimes.
I'm not talking about just shitting often.
Mhm.
Oil comes out of my asshole.
Yeah, because like, doesn't get
I
digested.
understand. No, I understand. 'Cause the water will have droplets on it. I
Like
get
bubbles of oil.
What the fuck, Stefan? Holy shit.
Do you know what? Though? I
He
occasionally
really doesn't.
You know what that's like? That's like
fats.
when, remember back in the day, everybody used to eat orange roughy.
orange roughy. That's apparently what it does.
I remember back in the day, Chad was like, I remember like 3 of my meals were orange roughy, and he would tell me to eat 60 ounces per meal. So I'm eating 3 pounds of fucking orange roughy a day. That was literally like, oh my, yeah, that's not the fucking. Oh, I just got a text back from Samson. It was arms, by the way.
Good.
Yeah.
I was going to be like, whoa.
Triceps focused.
So, sometimes sometimes because I have salmon, sometimes, and very occasionally, if I have my salmon meal and I forget to have sauerkraut with it, I feel a bit oily in the old stomach. But if I have sauerkraut with it, which I normally do with pretty much every meal, a little bit of sauerkraut, I don't really get that. So I wonder if that has like a little bit of a beneficial effect.
You're doing the sauerkraut for the probiotics, right?
Yeah, and I just like it I just like it. Like, I don't know, I really like the flavor because I've got the dill one. It's got dill and sour. So it's,
James, you upgrade. You got to start making your own. It's really easy.
mate,
Yannicka,
this is a lazy household. I should make my own. I know it's terrible, isn't it?
Good.
But I've got like the nice Marks and Spencer one. It's too nice. But yeah, I don't really eat vegetables as such. But that's like I do help. I think it helps me because I bloat quite a lot. Stefan would tell you, like I bloat really easy. Like I could eat a carb meal with less carbs than Fouad's eating there, and sometimes it just triggers, and I'm like, woof. Like at the beginning of my prep, I sent some videos to Stefan. I'm like, have a look at this, mate. Like fucking hell, and I look like I'm pregnant. I just
have you done any food tolerance like recently even? Because it changes a lot.
no, but that's why we made some adjustments for the nutrition, like
And now
similar.
it works well.
Yeah, we pulled like pretty much rice is non-existent. I might have one rice meal of the equivalent carb to the amount of potato I have very rarely if I'm like running out of potatoes or something's gone on. But we mostly eat potato and oats now, and I seem to be a lot better for it. And I think even from the protein, I think I don't eat chicken really now at all. I can get away with turkey occasionally, but mostly it's lean white fish, and I'm a lot better for it.
Yeah,
So
I have no idea how it is in the States or in the UK, but I'm a farmer boy, and in Austria, it's like that. I come from a family who had a huge farm for chicken.
yeah,
And the problem is the chicken, they are full of antibiotics.
yeah,
They are full of other medication because 10,000 chickens are on 1,000 square meters, and every farmer
together,
will
aren't
give them medication because when one of that fucking chicken gets sick, 10,000 are dead. That's a cost issue. And in Austria, because we have the mountains, and the European Union pays a lot of money when you get the cows on the mountain in summer. So they are standing on the field and eating just the grass.
free
So
grazing.
even if it's not biological one, not organic, when you buy beef, you always get much, much better quality because the animal is standing there eating their normal food, which is
Getting
not
some
processed.
sunshine.
They are not full of medication. That's why I always preferred beef and also reacted better on beef than on chicken or turkey. I think it's the worst here in Austria, Germany.
Yeah.
That's just fucking garbage.
Yeah, I there's definitely something with chicken. It just seems to irritate me after a while. So it's probably like you say that. Beef, I know I can get away with. It's just because the additional fat. That's the reason I don't eat more. Because again, it's just because even the leanest beef here is 95, whereas like in America you can get like 98, but you just don't get that here. I don't know if you get that in Austria.
I'm not touching the meat and chicken on the shelves here. I order all my stuff in. I don't
Yeah,
trust
I'm
it.
not
Like
surprised.
Stefan said, their FDA over here is so money driven, focused
yeah.
business wise. You're getting shit stuff up.
Yeah.
For beef, you just need to go to the butcher and take the piece which has no white anywhere, and
Yeah,
it's
just a
fine.
fillet, really lean fillet.
No, I wouldn't say fillet. In Austria, we call it Hüftsteak, which is actually the leanest. I need to take a
What
look
part's
what that
that
is
then?
in English.
So like flank or London broil or something like that, right?
Ooh.
Wait, take me a look. What does Google say?
I'm lucky
Can
around
I
here.
tell you
We got
something?
like local bison that are all like locally raised.
Can I tell you guys something?
Yeah, how's your lunch going?
In 5 years on this fucking podcast, everybody at least has had a meal once. This is the first time I've ever eaten on the fucking
I know,
podcast.
that's why we thought, you know what, he's looks happy and he's enjoying himself. Let's leave him to
I
it.
was gonna say I don't. You're right. Now you say it, I've never seen you eat.
Yeah.
That's right.
He's serious now.
I'm so hungry, man. Fuck.
Good, get it in you. We can carry for a moment.
The translation says sirloin.
Sirloin.
Okay.
Okay. Sirloin is lean. It just has the like in England, it just has the fat strip on the back, but you could just cut that off.
Okay, guys, I have a report from Samson. He said I'm allowed to tell you this stuff.
Okay. Live in. This
I'm
is
gonna
fresh news.
I'm going to read you the text.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "What did you train today in your update?" He said, "Ha ha ha, arms." I said, "Okay." I said, "Okay, we're trying to guess on the podcast." He said, 7 weeks out and it's fun. He said, "We cut my gear by half as well again this prep." I said, "Can I tell them?" He said, "Yeah, but they won't believe you anyways."
No,
The
I
fuck is
believe
half?
I know.
We-
You know, I
I think he
know
means
that game.
I think he means the public. I don't think he means you guys.
I just half of so
So then
half the half.
then
It's a
he goes
quarter.
on. Then he goes on. Masteron and test only so far. Starting clan next week. This motherfucker looks like that at 7 weeks out, and it's just test and Masteron. Then he
But
said,
this is what I'm saying. You know how much he's progressed. He can just keep going because it's.
then he said 35 minutes of cardio a day at the moment. I said, okay, I'm going to tell them. Then he said, we are loving this less is more approach. Seems to be working great for me. I feel amazing.
It's his mind. His mind must feel good. And the thing as well with that is that I do think that's why it contributes to him never looking. It's obviously very hard for Samson to ever look stringy because he's a bubbly black fella. Let's be real. But his fresh muscle, I think, is a contribution to not overdoing gear as well, because I feel like it does have an effect on people's look.
The thing is, James, look, I don't know what the stacks were when he was with Milos or before Milos.
But it would have been a lot more than
But
that.
I'm assuming that he was,
Kind of know.
I'm assuming he was probably going down the road that every pro goes down, which is every year I got to increase a little bit this or add that. And I think after they left Milos and Mel took over, and then with the help of Merrick working with their blood work, they were like, oh, we don't have to do all this. We can go back so my blood work looks good. And then when they tried it and he kept progressing, he's like, this is the way I got to go from now on. So now they're in this place where they reduced his gear and they made progress. So now they're like, let's see how they're actually like, it seems like they're playing this game now where they're like, let's see how far I can reduce it and still make gains.
Yeah.
It's like,
You
you
know
know what I
that's,
think?
that's a crucial thing, especially if you do that double season. If you don't do that with a double season Olympia and Arnold's,
yeah,
taper it down and do
You're
it
gonna
like
burn
that.
the fuck out.
yeah.
No, you won't get anywhere after 2 seasons. You will be fucking done. You know, Sean started his prep 2 weeks ago
Yeah. Can I ask you?
and was on TRT until 2 weeks ago because that's the only way you can do a double season. And even the season of Sean was longer because Prague was also there. So we really needed the time.
Stefan, can I bother you to educate the audience? So when you say, I just want to ask you a few questions. So when you say double season, you mean somebody who does the Arnold and the Olympia in the same season?
Yes, that's for me a double season.
Okay,
yeah.
so that's one thing. Second thing I want to ask you is, everybody says, oh, if you keep going, it's going to affect your health, or the drugs aren't going to work as well, or blah. Can you be more specific. What is the problem with just carrying on one way and not reducing? What exactly is the cascade of events that's going to happen in my body?
The problem is your body is that's exactly what James said before. Your body will start not to look fresh.
But why? But why? What is the mechanism in which it's not?
So, the fucking bubbles. Steroids have side effects. I think we will all agree. Okay.
Yeah.
Side effects will have effects on your health, but later also on your look. So if your liver enzymes, for example, are always high, the liver is the organ which is responsible for removing, let's say it easy because I'm fucking bad in English, poison from your body.
Yeah.
If your liver is always stressed to remove poison from your body, it won't remove poison good in your body.
I get
If you're always on high gear and you always have to do something against the side effects,
right.
You always have high blood pressure, take something against the blood pressure. Have problems with estrogen, taking always something against estrogen. Having problems with your lipids, doing everything against that your lipids go down.
Right.
That will affect the mechanisms you do against the side effects will also affect your health.
Right,
so it's very important to have periods in the year without needing to do anything against your side effects. Because if you have that constantly, you will get into a death circle and the body will just getting beaten up.
You know, I think it's funny
because sometimes in modern bodybuilding, they all say, okay, I have that side effect. Okay, then I take that.
Right.
But that also has an effect on the body and then side effect that people forget.
But I think, and that's what I was going to say, the interesting thing about it is throughout my career and anybody I've spoken to, they think once they take the side effect drug, let's say it's a cholesterol
it's
drug.
Eliminated.
Yeah, they think, well, my blood pressure's being taken care of by this ARB I'm taking, or my cholesterol is being taken care of by this like ezetimibe or whatever I'm taking. So I don't have to worry anymore. I can just keep taking testosterone, So basically what you're saying, and I've been guilty of that thought process as well. Mm-hmm. So basically what you're saying then is there has to come a point somewhere in the year where you return to the root to zero. And then you can go back.
Actually, it doesn't, in my opinion, it doesn't need to be zero because zero can also be a big stress for the body.
I don't mean zero drugs. I mean zero in your blood.
Okay. Yeah.
Blood work is
exactly.
all health.
Perfect. Exactly. That's the right message.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
The way I try to explain it, especially to some of my athletes, or like an analogy, is like if you have two cars and they both have to reach 70 miles an hour, one guy accelerates at a normal pace, the other guy puts his foot on the gas hard, and he ends up at 100. He's now got to brake hard to get back down to 70. Now he's like yo-yoing.
He's wearing the brake pads out now, as well as the fucking.
Yeah, and I feel like that way, it's like that's how we will end up at the dosages we do, because it's like, okay, you start at like, I don't know what, 250 tests a week when your first cycle, whatever, build up, 500, all 500 worked. If you just stuck at that for 10 fucking years, you might end up at just the same. I'm not saying that literally, but you know what I mean? But we always end up titrating up. And then at some point we go past that inflection point where we're making progress and any more is not adding more, it's taking away. And I think that inflection point is a lot lower than we all think it is or thought it was when we started.
Well, I think, Ben, it's because in a vacuum, you're 100% right. But when you add the pressures of life, like if you were starting bodybuilding and there was no limitation or time limit on your gains or your career or when you had to buy a house or when you had to start a family or when you had to start making money, then yeah, you could take your fucking time and be like, you know what? I don't care if it takes me 15 years to put on this muscle. But I think when you take the pressures of life and add them to the career, now you're like, fuck, you know what? I got to get my pro card. I got to start getting contracts. I got to start making money. So you start adding these pressures and plus you see other guys making this progress. So you're like, well, fuck, that guy put on 10 pounds of muscle this year. What am I doing wrong? Maybe I need more. So all of these other things start factoring into your decision making.
But would you rather be that guy that chases or ends up burnt out and by the time they're 35, or would you rather be someone like Samson who's worked his way up maybe more moderately?
I think there's a happy medium. I think not everybody is like Samson, so they're not going to have genetics to do that take your time shit. And I also think there's insane people like myself who went way past the fucking limit and had to come back. Go ahead, Stefan. Sorry.
I think some very important thoughts out of my mind, which doesn't need to be right, but at least that's my strategy.
Yeah.
If you can't get a decent bodybuilder with just 250 milligrams of test a week, forget it. You never be a big bodybuilder. Okay.
Is that
no. Listen, the sentence is a little bit longer.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm waiting. Go ahead.
Wait.
This is your problem.
I know. I'm okay, go ahead.
The reason or the point is that most people are so impatient that they throw in, I say just a number, that they throw in 1,000, even they would have progressed the same with 250.
I agree.
Mhm.
I agree.
So they're gonna waste potential.
I agree.
No, that's just the point. And then they get into a death circle.
Yeah.
So
Listen,
if you want to do the sport intelligent and clever and wise, wait a little bit and see what happens. And if you don't progress on 250, you won't progress on 1,000.
But here's the other thing as well. Like on that, the 250 guy to the 1,000, the guy that's using that extra 750, is he using that 750 to make progress and cover up some inconsistencies in, say, diet and patience as well?
I'm 1,000% in agreement with both of you that.
But me and you, I know I've done this, Fouad.
Yeah, listen, I'm not. This is
like, it's my second year as I'm gonna go up by 250.
This is what I'm trying.
I was a drug head, I think in my second year I was on 1,000. I did everything wrong. What I could do wrong.
Yeah. I think
that's why I'm here to prevent.
Right. Yeah. I'm not saying
right.
it being like I'm whiter than white. Fuck, I've been there.
That's right. I'm with you guys. We all did something wrong, and we're trying to tell people like there's a better way to do it. All I'm saying is the thought process gets muddy for the guy that's actually living in his skin when he's trying to get ahead and it's not happening fast enough for his life.
For sure.
But I can't compare to other people. That's just impossible.
I'm not
makes
saying
no sense.
But hold on a minute. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying this is what happens.
It does happen.
Right. I'm not saying it's the right way to do it. I'm not saying it's healthy. I'm not saying I'm not even disagreeing with you guys. I'm just saying it's
it's
part of
hard in practical terms. It is hard.
It's even more internalized than that, because it's not even like looking at someone else making more gains. It's where you see what you want to look like in your head and where you are now, and then you bridging that gap of, okay, let me see how quickly I can get to that point.
Right.
You know what? Because I'm always or very often confronted by that. Why isn't it going faster? I want more, blah, blah, blah. And then I always sometimes I do a quite provoking answer and ask, what's your job?
Yeah.
And then I say something, okay, I'm mechanic at Mercedes-Benz. And then I ask, why aren't you CEO and owner of Mercedes-Benz? Have you ever thought about that?
I get where you're going.
You know what I mean?
Stefan, I already said, I'm not disagreeing with anything you said.
Yeah. I'm
just stating, and it's not a justification.
Mm-hmm.
Just stating this is how the athletes, and you guys have all been athletes, so
Yeah.
And we've all made the same mistake. And even if we tell people not to do it, there are still people out there that are going to be like, Can I
add another reality to this too? When I went from 250 to say 500 and maybe added some Anavar, fuck me, training was so much fun.
Yeah.
It's so addictive. You go, fuck, like I can feel that just feels incredible. I love being in the gym. It takes training to another level, and
also,
that becomes
guys
addictive.
But also, are we being a little fucking disingenuous? Because I'm sorry, man. More drugs works. Like, drugs are not fake. Like, there's
for sure.
But you've got to agree there's a point, right?
Yeah, I'm saying there's a point where they stop and it just becomes more risk than reward. But you guys can't sit here and tell me that 750 milligrams of test is not better than 250. Where I do agree with you is that you need to take time to get to it. But we can't make it sit here and sound like more is not better. Drugs work for a fucking
yeah. Drugs work.
Just saying,
you are completely right.
Yeah, get the most out of the smallest amount for as long as you can.
Right. But often people have gone way past that.
And yes, I'm guilty.
And
of
we
it.
did too.
Yes.
We all went way past where that point was.
Right.
Where that point of like that perfect balance, not perfect balance, but just that range of
Mate.
I can make solid fucking progress. My body can't grow any faster no matter how much more I put in it.
Ben, I remember being a young 21-year-old, just won the Junior Britain title, and getting a box of On the Dren and being like, you know what, I'm going to do a whole box of that a week. Whole box of that a week, and that'll get me to pro card. I just remember, I remember like 1250 tests for about a month. And my blood pressure was like 180, and I was like, I need to stop.
now it's getting funny. For definitely proven, I was the worst bodybuilder of us four by far.
Wait,
You know,
I'm gonna show
by
everybody.
I want to know how much On the Dren you do.
no, by far, really. I'm a
This is
genetic catastrophe. You completely wasted everything. You know, completely.
This is Stefan.
Wasted.
I found a picture.
completely.
You know what I was looking for? I found a picture of you in the off season. I can't find it now. This is you on.
Chunky monkey.
This is you on stage. How much drugs were you on here?
How much were you
Oh,
on?
actually, that was the comeback to 13. That was quite less.
Okay.
That was really quite, because there I was a little bit older and understood.
What the
that,
fuck? Were you even eating in this diet?
No, the problem
That was
here
Yatkins. That was Yatkins diet.
The problem here was that I had colitis ulcerosa, and in the evening before I lost about 2 liters of blood.
Oh,
So that's kind
There
of
you go. That's off season. Off season face at least.
but I still went
Another one.
I still went on stage, you know.
this is the one I was talking about, James.
Yeah, look at that.
That
There
doesn't
you
even
go.
look like you, brother. You got what are you?
But that's not that bad. That's not that ugly. I show you funnier ones.
No, it's not ugly. It looks good on you.
He's like, I'll show you some funny ones.
Yeah, you want to make fun of me? No one makes fun of me better than me.
I show you. Let me just open it, and then we go to that. So can I when I go? How can I share my fucking thing?
I don't. Let me see if I can. Multiple purpose.
You have
No, go ahead.
deactivated it.
I opened it up. You can share now.
Okay. So I want that.
I'm interested now. I didn't even know you could do this.
What are you going to show
You
us?
see it?
No.
Which one?
Click on it so I can see it.
You should see it. Sie befinden sich, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
You
we
don't
only
see
see
it?
in the old
I
school
can see a
archive.
gallery.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you see it. Okay.
Yeah.
Take a look at that head.
That's amazing. That looks nothing like you, man.
That's funny, but that's still not the best one, you know. Take a look at that fat motherfucker.
Oh my God, Stefan, you're like
No.
he's an off
You
season.
know, like a proper European there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do. Like a proper European.
So that one is also funny.
Holy shit. That's not
Yeah, we
bad.
shared it. Stefan actually showed me these after I showed him my bloated. We were like, let's have a look at this as well.
Oh, the pec.
But that always had been the glutes.
I didn't know you had a pec there.
Yeah, before starting with bodybuilding.
We've got pretty homosexual now, guys.
Yeah, I know. It's just, I don't need to see naked pictures.
Don't ruin it for me, James.
So actually, that was the highest drug period, you know, when you are young and all that fucking stuff.
Yeah.
But that was 1,000 tests, 1,000 deca, 150 oxymetalone a day.
1,000 deca? Holy fuck.
150 oxy as well.
150 oxy.
My brain would be like,
Your dick wasn't even
Yeah, right.
working, was it?
One dick.
No, that always worked easy. I'm a machine.
Turn your share off so we can.
I'm a machine. I'm a machine.
How much Viagra were you taking to counter the deca?
No, easy. Believe me.
Really? Fuck, man,
Easy.
if I take deca, my shit's done. I can't.
No,
You know-
he was putting the 1,000 into his
right
penis,
into
just
his-
staying fucking hard.
I think that's probably the only positive genetic I have.
just you can hold sustained boners.
Dick always works no matter what.
I can't use
Deca shuts me down fucking quick.
Well, the problem with deca is not just my fucking libido. It's
How you feel?
I get depressed as fuck on deca too.
I hear that.
Does it affect you like that at all, Stefan? Really? That's so crazy.
Like, see how happy he was on 1,000?
I know, right? He looked really happy.
No, the biggest thing I've always dealt was my digestion and just shitting blood. That was always the big problem.
150 of oxys isn't going to help either, though.
No,
Oxys is that's another European trait. I feel like all the Europeans love a bit of
oxys. What am I missing here?
Anadrol.
Oxandrolone. That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
no, anadrol, not oxandrol.
Anadrol.
Yeah,
Anadrol.
Anadrol's Anavar. Yeah.
That's right.
But they were called
Oxymethylone.
Oxymethylone, yeah.
So you were taking 150 milligrams of Anadrol a day.
That's 3 tabs a day, bro.
Your genetics are not made for bodybuilding.
I would have been bench pressing 200 kilo for 20 reps with that.
The point was I was strong. I was squatting in the set 300. I was deadlifting 300. I was able to bench press with one chest 180. But
kilos.
You're talking about kilos.
Yeah.
Talking about kilos.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Just
But
Yeah, really,
no
I'm telling the people watching.
no muscle.
Yeah. It's funny. Can I tell you?
Strong tendons.
So yeah, literally squatting 7 plates and benching 4 plates.
Can I tell you?
Shit.
Can I tell you the contrast to this conversation? I did a podcast this morning before we did this one with Akeem.
Mm-hmm.
This fucking guy wasn't even bodybuilding. He was just kind of playing with some weights here and there with friends. He walked into a gym. The gym owner was like, "There's a show next week. You should do it." This guy goes on stage, doesn't know how to pose. All the guy told him was just shave. Make sure you shave. So he shaves, puts on a pair of trunks, goes on stage. He told me he was on stage and they would call like front double bicep, and he would look at the guy, wait till he posed.
Wait till he's done it.
And then he would do it because he didn't even know how to pose. And he fucking won the overall. And so we're talking about, and he was natural. It's natural.
That's the ends of the spectrum, isn't it? You've got like Akeem Williams, and then you've got Stefan.
And me.
Akeem, how old is Akeem now? I can't even tell how old he is.
Oh, I don't know. He said that was 2010, and he said he was 22. So I would put him at 37. It would put him at 37, I think.
So hard to tell. I feel like, because Akeem's been around a long time.
You know what? Can I tell you something about Akeem? I had a really good conversation with him. He told me I had a half an hour.
Mm.
We crushed an hour, no problem. I could have kept talking to him.
Mm.
It's funny, it's so weird when you assume something about somebody, but you've never actually like got to know him.
Yeah.
The guy was a graduate school consultant at his university. Like, I would have never assumed that about Akeem. And he said he did that for 7 or 8 years.
What was your assumption?
What was your assumption?
He's a meathead like the rest of us. I thought he was a meathead like the rest of us. I didn't think he's a fucking genius. So I'm like, it's just crazy, And then he's just, I don't know. It was a lot of fun. We had a really good conversation. He's
a very well-spoken person, isn't he?
The thing is, though, he's just so quiet online that I never knew his personality till today.
Yeah.
So
he obviously keeps himself to himself. I think he's just concerned with that. He's kind of like Samson in that regard.
I asked him about no, because Samson, at least, he posts so much in his stories, you get a feel for his
Yeah. Akeem's posts are a little bit more generic.
Yeah, he doesn't. I asked him about Prague. I said, I was kind of upset you didn't go to Prague. And he goes, why? I said, because you're going to compete with Chris. And it would have been nice to see, because you're 5'10", you're taller than Martin. It would have been nice to see a guy closer to Chris's height and double his size. Yeah, and he goes, I didn't want to be part of the circus. And I thought that was such a contrast to how my brain works. Because I'm like, I want to stand next to Chris. Even if I don't beat him, I would want to just be like, I stood next to Chris. And I asked him that. I said, didn't you want to stand next to this era's Arnold? And it didn't seem to faze him. He was like, no, I don't care.
I feel like he's all business as well. He's quite business with his bodybuilding. He does treat it, boom, he's there to win, really, isn't he? He chooses his shows. He's there to win.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. It's funny. We talking about the Arnold. I didn't realize that Akeem beat William, Brandon, and I think Raphael on the scorecards on Saturday night.
On Saturday, yeah.
He smoked everybody in the finals.
Yeah.
He beat me on finals, beat everybody on finals. It's just his screen judging was so low.
Yeah, he was 10 points difference, right? Or more.
Yeah, so he basically expressed to me, he's like, I think
he's good.
He's like, I think if I show up I showed up on the Saturday night, I can be in that top call out with the top 3.
He
He
can
did
because
the
he's
same. He did the same at the Olympia. Look at his score. Look at the scorecard from the Olympia. His score on Saturday night was way high. I can't remember exactly the
No, that's what
numbers.
I'm talking.
But
That's what I'm talking about. The Olympia.
Yeah,
no, he did the Arnold. Sorry, he both the Arnold and the
I know.
Olympia.
I know.
Pre-judging and the final score were way different. He scored much higher on Saturday.
I know, but we were talking about the Olympia because he's competing against Brandon and William again.
Mhm.
So I said, "Do you think you can beat Brandon and William?" And he said, "Well, I beat them on Saturday night."
You can't write him off,
I
man.
didn't
Because
know
when
that.
when he's on point, look at the score he gets.
He said he's had a really good year working with Chris too.
They've worked a lot. It looks like they've really figured him out.
He said him and Chris have had a really good relationship, and that's what I didn't realize he competed 6 times last year.
Yeah, he won the what pro show?
Starting
did he
the
win?
Arnold. He
Toronto,
did
he
both
won the Toronto.
Arnolds.
He won the Toronto show.
Mm.
Yeah.
He took
And
six.
then did very well in everything else.
I think he took sixth at the first Arnold, and then third at
Yeah,
the
and then third at the UK because he came back and nailed it.
yeah, and then he won Toronto, and then he took 10th at the Olympia. Then he was second to Raphael, and then he won the big man show. So he's qualified for next year already. But yeah, anyway, it was a good conversation. So
He's honestly, he's very impressive. Like when you're backstage with him and you sit there and you look at some of the density on the fella, you're like, oof.
You know what's funny, James? I want to ask you this too, and I think you've answered it this way to me before. I asked him about strength because I started the podcast off talking to him about strength because it always blows my mind when I see you guys lifting, you know, Ben and you and Luke and fucking Ian lifting these massive fucking weights that I've never even smelled before. I asked him, I said, what does that feel like? Does it feel like you're purposely chasing that number? He goes, I don't even try and lift heavy. I just kept on adding weight until it felt hard. Yeah. That seems like such a crazy like mindset to me. Like he was like, he's like 6 places heavy, so I added 7, and then I added 8.
Yeah, because he was never. But you know, like some people, they look at the logbook and then follow that. He just consciously just trained, and I was the same with squatting. I like with squatting, for example, it's just like, okay, I can get 6 for 12, so now it's 7.
And I understand that.
Same shit.
I'm going to bring it to my level just so I can kind of understand. Yeah. So if I did 3 plates on the bench press for 12 or 15, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to do 4.
Yeah, because you know you get probably 8.
Yeah, but 3 still felt like work. Like it wasn't easy. The way he made it sound was the weights just felt light, so I just kept putting weight on. And I'm like, I can't wrap my mind around that because I've never lifted weights and felt like they were light.
Yeah, it doesn't happen often.
You know what I mean? He's
obviously an exceptionally strong person. I was only really like that with squatting.
But I guess that's what I'm asking you, James, is like, did you experience the same thing where it wasn't like you had to channel more effort? It just felt easy for you.
I don't think I'm as freaky. I don't think I was as like Akeem. I think I was ballsy. I don't think I was like Akeem. Akeem kind of, because like you say, he just feels light, so he goes heavier. You could put 4 plates on a squat and it could still feel pretty heavy on the way up.
Yeah. But it is not just genetic variance, right? If you take like cardiovascular fitness, you went to school with somebody that could just from day one just run the cross country or just run 800 meters, right? And it was pretty comfortable for them. Yeah. But if they always ran 800 meters and stayed on that comfort, like you said, it's still taxing, but not like pushing the limit. Versus you maybe didn't have that capacity to start with, but if you always pushed your limit, eventually you'd surpass that 800 meters that your friend can run and keep going. Same with strength.
Right, but what I'm saying, Ben, is he said this from day one.
It felt light, yeah. It
just said yes, I know, but someone like Luke walked in the first time he ever pulled a weight for 4 was like 4 plates aside. Right? You're saying some people have natural athleticism where that weight that you find heavy. Right. He walks in and goes, oh, that feels kind of light. Let me start. And their starting point is much higher than yours.
Right. And the thing is, I said to Akeem, I said, people talk about genetics all the time in bodybuilding. But I never feel like when I talk to somebody like Akeem, or I see somebody like Samson, or you see just a there's various bodybuilders in the industry that like some things just seem easy to them. Like Stefan, I talked to Martin yesterday and he said to me, yeah, I'm starting my prep at 8 weeks out. I'm like, I've done that once in my life. I got away with it, but like,
I wouldn't choose to. Yeah, for you personally, it wouldn't be the way. Yeah,
right. So I'm like, all I'm trying to say is like, the more podcasts I do, the more bodybuilders I talk to, the more I'm like, the genetic component is so much bigger than I think anybody fucking realizes, and it was so evident today talking to Akeem. You know what I mean? I'm like, this is just fucking wild. Like,
you know what really opened the more I coached and the more I do coach, the more clear that becomes.
Yeah. 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 Because, and Stefan, I'm sure you've experienced it with athletes that you've worked with. Like, where is the genetic component for you? Like, how often do you see it where you're like, you're helping 2 guys or 3 guys or 5 guys, and like one of them is just pulling away?
You know, the first thing is I would say all the open guys are different breed than
Right.
any other ones.
Right.
It's just like that. You know,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
are very, 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 very special if you are a world-class open bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Then you are the genetic elite, and 99.999999999% of people who want to be a bodybuilder will never be there because of the genetic limitations.
Mm.
And in that field, you know, there are also that big differences.
Yeah.
are huge.
So that's you know, it's even that is separated
Yeah.
that intensely, and it's really no. In we say it in German. I don't know if it sounds that good in English too, but the people grow when they just look to a dumbbell.
Yeah. Yeah. We say that too. Yeah. They just look
You
at
know,
it.
it's
Yeah.
and that's really not a fairy tale.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really not a fairy tale.
You know what I realized genetics, how it's not when I realized, but you know what makes it even more evident? You know how you say like the Mr. Olympias are probably the genetic elite of the elite, right? Like there's open bodybuilders, like you were saying, are 99%. And then of those 1% that are left over, there's all the Mr. Olympias, right? It became most evident to me when I see people retire. You know, you see some people retire and they just
They
shrink.
fade to dust. They look like terrible.
Yeah,
And
they
then
look
some
like they
people just
never,
stay.
yeah, they look like they never even worked out. And then you see people like Jay, like Phil, they still look like
Marcus Rule.
Marcus. Yeah, their physiques are still there.
Marcus Rule looks like a fucking
Yeah.
fridge freezer still.
Yeah. So I noticed that. I'm like, you know, you see pictures of Dorian Yates now. He's on the beach doing yoga. He's still got fucking abs. His calves are still fucking like this. It's like, yeah, there's like the 1% of the 1%. So anyway,
Even when you take a look at because he's shrank now that much, but even if you take a look how long Dexter kept up and having volume, you know, now he's skinny, but the amount of time he kept the muscles up was insane, and he probably didn't do anything.
well, the craziest thing too is Dexter turned pro as a bantamweight, didn't he? Or started
Yeah,
competing
something
as a
like that.
bantamweight. He
Yeah.
started competing as a bantamweight, I think. So yeah, it's wild.
But Stefan is right. There'd be a lot less bodybuilders, period, if classic didn't exist, right? Because to be an open pro, a lot of those classic guys couldn't, even if they went, okay, let me take 5 years off, wouldn't be able to step into a pro open.
No.
Because it's just.
All right, let's do some questions. You know, how do you find a legitimate prep coach? I'll ask you guys that since you guys are both coaches. Stefan or Ben, which one wants to start? What's a good way for somebody to find a reputable coach? Because there's a lot of, we got to talk about the Sean Ray Chris Aceto thing.
I don't know much about it.
Okay. Anyway, let's go to this question first. What
I would say just take a look at how the people behave, if that fits your thing of morals. I would say that's something which is important. And the second thing is take a look how they deal with people in your range of genetics and possibility of success.
Right.
You know?
Right. Ben, anything to add to that?
It's kind of tricky because you want to, like, obviously reputation would always hopefully precede you, and that becomes your kind of calling card, I guess. But sometimes that level, this is what I found, like sometimes that level of coach where, say, Stefan is not accessible to everybody. So sometimes like you going with somebody who's lesser known but can actually work with you and is actually passionate about working with you individually if you want to really not just be a number.
So you're saying,
right? Because
so you're kind of blending what Stefan said too. You're kind of saying work within your range don't look for a coach that's out of your range. It's kind of what
I wouldn't say, for example,
No.
I wouldn't say probably that, because a higher lead coach can also work nice with other people.
Right.
But I would suggest to people, take a look at their histories. What have they done with people who were beginners? Where are they now? What have they done with intermediate guys? How far did they get them? How were they able to change people who obviously don't have elite genetics? Or
Right.
how do they deal with people with elite genetics?
Right.
So take a look, where are you at the moment? What are the goods you can bring into the relationship? And what has that guy done with the goods you bring to the relationship in the past?
What I got from Ben was, make sure that it's almost like you want to make sure the coach has enough time for you. And if he's training 20 Olympians, he might not have the time.
Yeah, don't call Stefan. No,
Yeah.
look, Stefan is a freak, because I don't know how he handles the number. Obviously, his brain works very differently to mine. I got to a point where a few years ago I was too busy, and I felt myself becoming one of these, like, I was overloaded. So I guess what my point being is, like, it doesn't matter what a coach has done and what he knows. If you can't access that knowledge,
It doesn't matter.
Worth fuck all to you.
Right.
You need to find a coach that has enough of that reputation that you trust, but that you can develop a really frequent communication line with, and communicate with them well. If you can't communicate with that coach, and that's a two-way street, right? That's not coming just from the coach down. That's got to be, you got to have enough balls to ask why, to be able to pick up the phone and call them and know that they're either going to pick up, within reason and whatnot. Like, that's important. That matters so much more, I think, than necessarily this coach is like Hani or Stefan or Chris Aceto. If you can't fucking access them,
it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Let me add one point to that. James will, or I think nearly everybody out there will agree. I have a response time of about 5 to 10 minutes. No matter if I sit at the Olympia in the crowd, and if you're just a fat guy who wants to lose fat, or something different. But I'm not the babysitter.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm not the guy who goes out and motivates people. I communicate back when people communicate to me.
Mm-hmm.
I answer questions when they do the questions.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you want to work with me, you need to ask for what I
guidance. Tell me what the next thing is. Yeah.
If you need motivation, Stefan's the wrong person.
Yes.
No. I don't think that's true.
Well,
Stefan's not the wrong person, but
kind of what he's saying.
You can't sit there and be like, oh, he's going to message me saying good job today.
Yeah, that's
what.
Yeah,
something like that.
You can reach out to Stefan and say, I think I'm doing all right. What do you think? And he'll say if you're doing all right or not. So you can get motivated still from that, but you have to actively,
I've had.
He's not going to send you a message in the morning. Have a good day, son.
That's what I meant. Like, he's not going to be the initiator of your motivation. He's going to work with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
exactly.
Yeah. I've had clients before, and I've like shouted them because they wait till their weekly check-in to tell me something that happened 6 days ago. They got really sick. They broke a fucking leg, whatever it might be. I'm like, why did you wait? Like, or they were like, they had like 3 days of diarrhea and they just got on with it. I'm like, hey man, like, fucking.
Well, can I say something though? As an athlete, sometimes you feel like you're bothering your coach, and you're like, "Hey, I got diarrhea for 3 days." Like, sometimes you don't. And I'm not saying it's right not to say anything, but I think that's a communication thing that the coach has to have with the athlete. Like, hey, no matter what's going on, I need to know, because I think without that coach telling the athlete that, I would personally feel like I was bothering my coach if I told him that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I now do that. Like, anyone new, certainly, that I'm taking on. Like, I spoke to someone yesterday and I said, listen, however this plays out, you got to instigate the communication. I'm here as much as you need me and want me. But the more that happens, the easier this process becomes. I get to learn you. I don't have to wait all that time to catch up with where you're at. My brain can stay kind of fresh. If you keep putting yourself to the front of the line, I'm going to have to.
Yeah.
I treat everybody like Stefan. My phone lights up, I answer it. Like, that's what I'm dealing with, right?
Right.
So if you put yourself in my visual front and center, now I can do my job on you.
You know what you just did, right? Every one of your clients now is going to message you every 5 minutes.
Oh, I'm fucked. I'm changing my number.
All All right.
But for example, now during our podcast, I answered about, when I count down, 50 or 60 messages.
You answered 60 messages while we're doing this?
Yes.
That's fucking,
Yeah, see, we're with fucking Rain Man right now. It doesn't count.
that's not very nice. You're supposed to be paying attention.
No, he can.
I'm ordering my dinner from Yannicka as well. I have to do this stuff.
He's Rain Man. If I answer anything, I'm like over here. This guy's like,
James, what are you ordering for dinner?
I was just telling Yannicka that I need some egg whites cooked quickly.
And do you think when she's 2 months pregnant, you can still ask for it?
Look how
Yeah,
he's how proud he is.
Listen,
that he orders his food.
Well, no, I don't normally. I promise.
I would be
I do cook I cook all my own meals,
says.
but I just need her to help me with this one meal today.
Your wife is pregnant, James.
Yeah, she is, but she hasn't popped out yet, and she's not
so
fat yet.
the Arnold is before the due date. So
Yes, the Arnold is before the due date, so Arnold
James.
comes first.
Do you and your wife share one big blanket or 2 regular ones?
No, 2 regular, man. I can't share.
No, I can't share that.
Yeah,
never done that.
But why?
Wait,
why?
what?
I will never understand that. Why have people one big blanket? That's fucking nonsense.
They think it's more intimate.
I'll steal it off her.
That's shit.
wait, what? Wait, hang on.
Ben's a lovey. Ben's kisses
oh,
more than I do.
Wait, what?
What?
All
Yeah, I
of
don't
our
share.
beds have one single blanket on
See,
it.
but
What am I
don't
missing?
You definitely are
listen to
covered.
Ben.
Ben.
Don't listen to Ben. Ben's the guy who makes.
I didn't know this was a thing.
Ben's the romantic in the group. He wouldn't understand what we're talking about. He's like, I need one blanket so I can be close to my honey bunny, and we can make out.
The problem is, I need
No,
to
my
put the
son's in
blanket between my legs. And when there is just one blanket, that's not possible.
Fouad, enlighten Stefan on my pillow that I take with me.
The body pillow that you travel with.
Yeah, I have a full-length body pillow. It goes in a second suitcase. I take it everywhere.
Is that like a pregnancy pillow?
Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
Pillow. Yeah.
You love it.
No,
And then I
Ben,
get the
Ben,
big
you don't
TV.
know that guys sleep with their own fucking blanket.
No, I didn't know that was allowed.
What do you mean?
Mate, that's allowed. Gospel,
Hey,
bro. It's
Denise,
gospel.
Denise, we're getting blankets.
Just take the blanket off the fucking bed behind you and put it in your fucking bed.
Yeah, I've had that. I've been that way for years, man.
Listen, it's way better. You don't have to fucking, because when you share one blanket, sometimes you wake up and she's got half the fucking blanket and you got to pull it off her.
Mate. I'm always hot.
You know,
I'd rather sleep with
if-
nothing on.
If people think riding with a Harley Davidson is freedom, having your own blanket is freedom.
No, see, the problem is, you think I'm being intimate. I'm not. There's 3 in my bed. There's Denise, Phoenix, and then me. That little fucker is wedged.
Why is Phoenix still sleeping in your bed? Is he like 8?
4.
Is he 8?
Because I think 8.
Why are you a teenager
He's
sleeping in your
4.
bed?
He's
4, and he goes to his own bed, and then with a nightlight. And when he wakes up and it's like 2 in the morning, it's dark. He's scared of dark, so he comes running into our bed.
Oh, okay.
We'll let him off, 'cause
So you wanna bully a 4-year-old anymore? Come on.
I thought he was like 10 by now. I didn't know.
So it's been a while. He's been around
He
for some
started
time
to
now.
smoke last
Yeah, he's working. He pulls in a
Got a
good wage
job,
and pays the bills, but he still sleeps in the bed.
Question, debate between my girlfriend and I: is chocolate sauce on bagels with bacon acceptable or not? In what
Yes.
scenario? Like in the off season, or
No,
just
it's acceptable.
just like does it?
Just general.
Like the
I-
combination
I-
is the combination acceptable? Not
It
any
is
time of
because
year.
bacon can go with you can have bacon with
Listen,
pancakes, can't you?
I
So
would
it's
put-
acceptable.
I would put a bacon bagel with like a syrup or like a maple sauce. I don't
But
think I'd put it with
maybe-
chocolate.
Oh, Nutella though. You could put Nutella on that. It's pretty
Also,
good.
Ben, Five Guys do milkshakes and put bacon in it.
I know they're good.
Oh,
They are
really?
good.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can get bacon put in it. So the salt, because the
The
salt,
Salty
obviously-
sweet, the salty sweet shit.
yeah, I think
Yeah,
that'd be
it's
quite a
good.
good shout.
Mate, you could totally put a shitload of Nutella, bacon, bagel done.
But when it comes to that stuff, try it because that's the best one. A good bread, butter, honey,
Oh, I love butter and honey.
'Cause you need fat and
salami,
sugar.
and salami.
Salami,
Oh, you got the
Salami.
I
spice.
don't like
I
salami.
don't like salami.
honey, butter, and salami.
I'd replace the salami with bacon.
Salami's Italian, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's the tasty.
I know, but I make fun of Paul all the time for his Italian cuisine. I can't eat salami. It's against my.
Why?
because I make fun of him for it. So I'd be like,
Yeah, tell him it's a Spanish version.
You can get the pastrami. You have pastrami instead. You can't have salami, but you can have pastrami.
yeah.
Chorizo.
Who are
Chorizo.
who are the best backstage Mr. Olympias? Craziest looking guys you've seen backstage? For me, it's Phil Heath.
I thought Cedric looked really good backstage.
He's a lot bigger.
Cedric's wild backstage.
He's bigger than people realize.
Cedric's actually tanning booth Mr. Olympia as well, in my opinion. He's the only person I saw in a tanning booth, made it look so small. And I was like, that's a fucking big dude.
Such a big fucking guy. And it doesn't, because he's so aesthetic when he's on stage with the other guys, he doesn't appear as large as he is. But
he doesn't stand all the way up because he's kind of like, he's a nice person. So he was always like very talking to you rather than.
Yeah.
But he's big, dude. Fuck me. In Romania, I remember in Romania, he took up the whole fucking.
It's funny you say that, James. You know what? I never even realized that about him. But he was like,
he was always really.
Every time he talked to you, he would try and like come down to your level.
Yeah.
Because he was always taller than everybody. That never even like clicked.
He never like if you notice any pictures you see of him, he's always like kind of standing like that.
Hunched over a bit. Yeah. Good old Cedric.
Great bodybuilder.
Stefan. Best backstage. Phil Heath. Ben?
Yeah, I never saw Phil Heath backstage with some pictures. Yeah,
I never saw Ronnie backstage, but I'm assuming he would be the craziest.
Oh, Ronnie must have been.
Me personally, it was Phil. What's your take on the Buendia podcast with Hani? I didn't watch it. Did anybody watch it?
No, I didn't. I think
I don't watch YouTube at all.
Apologies to.
Listen, I think it's good when people make up. Life's too short to have fucking shit. So it's cool that they made up. But I didn't watch the podcast, so I don't know. In order, top 6 best British bodybuilders of all time. Well, I think currently Dorian's got to be first, but Samson, if he keeps progressing, may take that spot.
Yeah, the top 3 obviously Flex, Dorian, and Samson, and then from there it's like
little toss.
Then Nathan, you got
Luke, Charles Clement.
You have to have Nathan pretty high on the list. Shooting,
he's got 11 pro wins or 12.
Like holy hell!
13 at the moment, I think.
You know what's crazy?
Nathan
posted a video yesterday doing safety bar squats with 10 fucking plates aside.
Yeah, when he was younger, bro, he used to do some mad shit. That's like when he was still that's like when I was a junior. That's like 2009 or 10.
Safety bar squat. First of all, safety bar squats are way harder. And he's got 10 I mean, he was using his hands, but it doesn't matter. It's 10.
It's still having that on your back.
Anyway. Like doing like a Hatfield squat, right?
Well, he was holding on. He was holding on to. So yes, his upper body's helping a little bit, but it's 10 fucking.
Yeah, you seen how big his lats are? Fuck was like.
It was just really impressive. And then it was a slider post, and the second post was him squatting 7 plates.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's
Nathan's also really good because of his career before he was a pro. Like he won the British 3 different occasions and the NABA Britain. So like even on the come up,
he's one of the 10 most winning bodybuilders of all time.
Oh yeah, he's up there. Yeah, for sure.
People forget that, and it's realistic that he cracks the top 5.
Okay, but
if he gets like a couple more,
but 75% of those shows are European, so it doesn't count.
No, he didn't do that many European shows.
I'm just fucking around. Listen, somebody's gonna clip that. They're gonna send it to Nathan. Nathan's gonna tell me I'm a fucking asshole. I'm just joking. Everybody,
I feel like the
fucking joking.
big win was New York. I remember New York being a big one.
2018 or 17, right?
18.
Are the egg whites coming?
Yeah, Yannick, are the egg whites coming? Stefan said.
Is it all of it?
Yeah.
Isn't this bigger?
Are they really coming?
Yeah, they're coming.
But just drink it. Yeah. Just drink it. Do a Rocky.
Yannick, they are not.
Is it
they are not made. You did something wrong.
She can't hear.
She can't hear.
You're not that special. She brought you a bottle of liquid egg whites.
Do you want sauerkraut?
Yes, please.
No, look, she's gonna cook it. She's making sure it's the right egg whites.
Yeah, 500. It's about 50 protein, I think.
So, like, they bring you the wine.
James, say hurry up. Say hurry up. Say it.
No.
They bring the wine and say, check the label on the wine. James is getting these fucking egg whites checked over. Look at that.
Do you want to sip for, like, I have to do a little taste test first. So egg whites good enough. So I normally, I've had 2 white fish meals, but so the third on rest day tend to have like an egg white one because I use the garlic one cow spray and it smells so good that when you eat, you can taste it. So that's
James, I got an important question for you.
Of course, man.
Does James think it takes more skill to be a pro gamer or pro bodybuilder? This is a fucking good question because
I feel like gaming's not skill. I feel like,
what do you mean?
again,
It's
no,
hand-eye
because
coordination.
my friends that are really good at gaming are actually like Stefan. One of my best friends is autistic as they come, and he on a game, you put him
What
in
is
a game.
autistic? Wait, what does autistic as they come mean? What is that?
Bro, he's the loudest in
What
the
are the
room.
degrees? What are the
He's the
degrees?
loudest in the room. He loses every job he gets because he's too loud. He's fucking hilarious. He doesn't know when to be quiet. He doesn't know when,
Autistic
and
as
he
they
will say
come.
the most awkward thing in the room because he's thinking it but doesn't. And he's like, his head says don't say it, but he does.
That's an idiot.
But you put him on a fucking game, bro. He's like
Locked in.
like
Yeah.
yeah, he's fucking, and he is very very intelligent.
Yeah.
Good grades at school. He's just very loud.
But
Unfortunately,
that's a skill, though. But
spectrum
that's a skill, though. It just seems like an easy skill for
it's
him.
a birth given right almost. I feel like with him, he's
Yeah,
like
for-
God sent to be a
for
gamer.
that guy. But let's say,
Oh, you can train it for sure. Yeah.
so what's harder then, bodybuilding or gaming?
Gaming requires more actual like things that you have to learn, I feel. But bodybuilding is more effort by miles. By miles.
So mad. He's right.
Stefan, I'm a gamer before I'm
He's so upset right now. He's like, "Fuck."
I'm actually a pro gamer before I'm a bodybuilder. No, they're very different. One's like very much like reflexes and shit, and that's so different than bodybuilding because bodybuilding's like composure and patience and like understanding and feeling, not rushing. Whereas gaming's like responsive, like it's so different, man.
What was your word? No. What was your, well, maybe. No. Let's see. First time or local show? How to find, no, we already did that. Why does it go around in circles like that for me? I hate that.
What?
My comment section, it will go back to the first one. Like it's weird. It's how it when I scroll.
Yeah, I do that.
It won't
sometimes
go
on my little
through.
thing.
It won't go through all the questions.
You said first time local show. This is just me filling some gaps. This was my first ever win, Fouad.
That's nice.
2009.
That was
Decent.
yeah, that's a nice fucking trophy.
Heavy as well. These are
I pick up my first fucking trophy.
we're just going to show off trophies now.
It's not even going to be a bodybuilding trophy. It's
It
going
probably won't even be. It'll be some like fucking arts and crafts.
to be like him with a pen. It's going to be like
Yeah.
a guy holding a pen or something.
That was just because you said first. That just sprung to mind.
Have any of you guys ever gotten roadhead before?
Roadhead.
Yeah.
Well, head on the road, getting driven around.
It's not the first
Oh.
one. It's
is
Vienna. It's Vienna champion.
Or is this
bodybuilding?
actually bodybuilding or something else?
It's classic bodybuilding 2006.
Okay, so it is actually. We were thinking you would have come back with something.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be like academic.
No, to prove it, it's top trim on
I
it.
believe
you.
you. I believe you now. We just thought we were guessing it was going to be academic.
What does it actually say on it, Stefan? How do you say that?
Vienna champion.
I thought you said Wiener champion.
Yeah, that's
Is it spelled the same?
Vienna is Wiener on German.
Oh, you could just say we could. Yeah, that could be a different type of prize.
Okay, can we go back to the question? Have you ever
Yeah,
gotten,
we can go
have you
back to
ever
the
gotten
question.
roadhead?
I don't know actually. He definitely has. Ben's definitely.
It's just nodding. He's not the same. He's like,
I don't think I have. I don't think I drive dangerously. I don't think I would.
dropping a girl,
I'm-
dropping a girl home a few times. Like,
I am too responsible. I wouldn't do that. I don't think.
What was the
You
question?
don't have to do anything. You can keep looking at the
Stefan,
road.
let's
mate.
see if Stefan knows what it is before I explain it to him. Have you ever gotten roadhead before? Do you know what? It's English. I know it's not your first language, so it's okay. But getting head means you're getting a blowjob.
No, never.
So roadhead is getting a blowjob while you're being
No,
while
you
you're
know,
driving.
for me, driving is the pure pleasure. Go away, everything else.
Not racing.
Don't
in a
even try.
race car. I'm talking about just driving.
No.
your car.
On the track.
It's always a race.
Okay, so no for Stefan.
No, never.
If James has a boy, will he get him circumcised?
I don't know about that. I'm not circumcised.
That's a
That's an
question.
intense question.
Well, the thing is, I'm not circumcised, so I don't see the harm in not. If he was obviously if he had an infection or something, I'm sure I would. I'm not of a religious standpoint that I care either way. You know what I mean?
No, but over here it's not religious.
Listen,
Maybe they do it for like cleanliness.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I
Like, if
would-
it was, that's what I said. If there was like, if you had an infection or
Everybody
needed
here,
it done.
is everybody here non-circumcised?
No,
I have
I'm
the
not.
full power of my skin.
Remember, the skin is important.
We're
It keeps it
European.
sensitive.
We're European, mate. So, or
I'm the only one with a
British
clean
European.
dick here. You guys are all dirty.
Yeah, but it keeps it sensitive, Fouad.
I have enough.
Yeah, but the naked head
James,
looks awkward.
if it was more sensitive, I would come even faster. I don't want that.
You would be in my position,
Yeah, exactly.
guys. Serves up.
Fast.
Oh, my
That was so
Thank you.
fast.
How big is your salt and pepper?
It's big.
I thought that was code for like how big is the shaft and the head.
Tell her, hey, James, say to her, where's my drink?
Where's my drink? I was expecting a nice glass of.
Eggs and go, this tastes like shit.
I was expecting a glass of Merlot with this. Thank you,
That's
Annika.
fucking hilarious. You're so lucky, dude.
I'll wait for dessert.
She's gonna
No.
He's gonna kill
He
you
should
over
have. He should have said, "Now I wait for the next drive in the car."
Yeah, that's right.
The thing is, in a car, I'm more likely to try doing stuff to them. I would say,
Yeah,
like
but not
my
when you're-
oldest,
not
my
when
younger
you're-
self.
Well,
It'd be like
that's why you're
finger
gonna crash
blasting while they're
me.
driving.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely not really.
Okay, we'll do one more. If you could sack, actually, do we want to talk about the Sean Ray thing at all?
If you want to,
I don't
you obviously
know
do,
the
'cause you
Sean
grew up
Ray
twice.
thing.
Well, he
What
just-
was
I don't
going
know.
on?
I don't know exactly what happened. I saw one quick clip of him putting his foot in his mouth because he's like, because when the Derek Lunsford news came out that he was working with Chris Aceto, Sean Ray, I guess, was talking to somebody. I can't remember what. I don't know if it was him and Bob Ciccarello. I don't know what podcast he was on.
I think it was him and Bob.
Yeah, but he was saying something about, oh, he doesn't need a coach. He should coach himself, blah, 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 blah. So Chris took that personally, which
Yeah,
I don't know
he's
if it was-
entitled to if he wants to.
I don't know if it was something that needed to be taken personally, but he kind of snapped back at him. So now they're they're in a little feud about it. But it seems a little bit like silly because who gives a shit if Sean Ray says he shouldn't have a coach? I mean, Lee Priest says that all the time. Lee Priest says like nobody should have a coach.
Oh, Lee.
Yeah,
says
but-
it all
Yeah, but people like Lee Priest.
I think that's why. Because it came from I think it's because it came from Sean Ray. I think that's the problem.
That's
And
a,
plus,
that's
you
a
know what it is?
one-sided fucking argument. You know who the majority of the fan base is going to be on here, even if Chris is wrong.
Well, the thing is this. It's
People
not,
are-
I don't know if it's the fact of what he said. I think is more the delivery. Sean Ray's delivery is always a little bit dickish.
Bad. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's never like it doesn't come across in a positive or constructive or objective kind of way. It always comes off a little bit like he's talking down to you. So maybe that's
condescending a little bit.
yeah, a little bit condescending. Maybe that's why it came off that way. What is the okay, we'll finish with this one. What is the best personality trait that each member of the podcast brings to one another?
This podcast. This
Well,
four?
The four of us here.
Those fuckers.
Ben's like,
These ones.
nobody brings anything to me. Fuck you guys. I'm going to say James' philosophy and depth, Stefan's honesty and bluntness, and Ben's ability to argue with me about everything. Even if he doesn't have to, he'll argue anyway.
Ben and you can ruffle each other's feathers quite easily, can't you?
Ben does it on purpose. He just waits for me to take a position, and then he takes the opposite position.
Wait, I feel like you do the same. We reciprocate. It's equal on that one.
Okay, it's equal.
You have to have a friend like that. Everyone has to have a friend like that.
Yeah.
I would say Fouad ability to ask interesting questions
Ah, thank you.
and making me laugh always when I think about him doing gymnastics.
I'm telling you. You know what? I had a gymnast reach out to me. Oh no, it wasn't. It was Yannicka. Yannicka reached out to me.
Did she?
And she said, well, don't get mad at her. It wasn't like it was a nice conversation.
Yeah, Mama reached out to him.
Yannicka reached out to me and she said, she totally agreed. And she said, gymnastics is the base to all other sports.
Yeah, to be fair, she's got a big love for gymnastics.
And I
but she's also living with a pro bodybuilder who she's going to take shots at any which way she can.
No, she sees exactly how much skill is involved in bodybuilding. She's like, yeah, it's not even close.
Yeah, until he's retired, she ain't going to give him any fucking credit. Wait, she'll only give him his flowers after he's done.
I don't know. It felt good for somebody that has knowledge of both to take a proper stance on it.
Yeah,
gymnastics, anything that you apply, if you learn gymnastics and you apply it to anything, it will actually make you better at any other endeavor.
I will say this though, I think I had another gentleman reach out to me. I can't remember if he was a motocross guy or what fucking sport he did, but he said the opposite. He said, I came from this sport over here and I came to bodybuilding, and bodybuilding is so much harder. So the thing about it is this: quantifying the term harder.
Yeah, it's so broad.
It's not about skills.
Because
it's not the skill point.
Yeah, because harder can
but genetics will underpin how easy or hard you find a certain level of skill within a certain.
That's why.
And Fouad will know this. You'll say, like, some people find it hard just to fucking do this. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's like, so when you say bodybuilding, someone could walk into bodybuilding and be like, oh, I've actually got to follow nutrition. And to them, that's impossible.
Yeah.
So it depends on your.
But Ben, I think when you see what you're saying is more individual, what I'm saying is more objective across all. I'm speaking in an objective. So I'm taking genetics out of it because we're not picking out.
Yeah, how you speak suits your argument. So it's cool. Yeah.
whatever helps me win the argument.
Exactly. Yeah. Whatever it takes.
But when we finish the round of the positive sides of the other one, I would say Ben is the only one I really understand good.
What do you mean? In what way?
Language, pronunciation, the kind he talks.
Because
I'm articulate.
I'm
articulate.
That's bullshit. He doesn't.
It's not. Ask every not English speaking person.
Ben is very.
He understands best.
He does, and
Ben knows when to slow down, doesn't he, and talk like at a good pace for people. Whereas I'm always like, blah, 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 and people are like,
and I just wanted to say, and James makes me more intelligent because I need to focus and concentrate so much to understand him.
Yeah. The depth of what he's saying. Sometimes you have to. Ben, are you gonna go, or just me and stuff?
I didn't know we were doing a round robin. I'll fill in the gaps.
Go ahead.
James. Actually, I feel like James and Stefan both provide an element of honesty. It just comes from different perspectives, different viewpoints, which I do enjoy. And then I hate paying you a compliment, so no, I don't want to do it. I fucking feels like it makes my skin.
It makes you cringe. It makes you cringe. I don't want to say anything nice about him. Fuck him.
Which I guess is the compliment. There you go.
Don't do it. It's okay. I like that. Go ahead, James.
Well, because it's my thing with Stefan is obviously because he's obviously coaching. One of the things I find is in a world where there's just a lot of over information and a lot of things can lead you astray, it's direction. So I'm given something that keeps my eyes going like on the forward movement rather than left, right, everywhere around me. So it's direction for me. And Stefan makes it very, because he doesn't beat around the bush. The answers are very clear. It's yes or no. It's none of this in between. And I can be quite in between. My personality can be quite like that. So it's very good for me to have someone that's a bit different, that's very direct, because I need that. So that's something that really helps me from Stefan. Ben is obviously, what I get from Ben is obviously a familiar face, and we have mutual respect, and having the history of having friendships with people like yourselves and Luke and stuff like that. It's nice in a world like today where there's a lot of fake and false relationships come and go, and sometimes they're not built on any foundation. So that's that. And then with you, man, you've always been really good to me. You've put yourself out for me many a time, even just like the podcast and stuff and having me on. You've offered me things and helped me in the past. Yeah, no, but you have, and I do say, as much as a lot of people seem to be my mate, I only have a few, and those few are the people that reach out on my phone, and you guys are those guys. So, yeah, just that's all it is for me, really. You guys are all good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now I'm going to take
Food for you and your knowledge. That's an 8-year-old boy. How an 8-year-old boy looks.
Hey, I don't have any fucking kids. That kid must mind 12. I don't fucking know.
It's stunted growth. I'll get him on some GH and
I have
speed
no
him up.
idea what kids look like at certain ages. I have no
To be
knowledge.
fair, there is this thing, isn't there? Like from 4 till 10, I don't know.
It's
I
all the
won't
same
know.
shit.
Until they're 16.
4 or 8. You might as well have all this the same fucking age. I don't fucking know.
Mm.
All right. We'll wrap it there, guys. Thank you.
Have a nice evening.
Had a great
Pleasure,
time.
everybody.
We'll catch up with you guys next week.
For sure.
Okay, bye.
Okay, boys.
All right, guys, take care.
Bye-bye.